two, one.
Good morning and good afternoon, depending where you're at in the country. Thank you for tuning in. We have a fun-packed day for you, showing you a lot of pre-existing products and some new products. We always love this journey that we can go on with our customers, showing you and taking a little bit of time, demoing each of our products and what some of these products can do. We're going to wait just a few moments. We're going to let everybody pile in to the virtual trade show. And we are going to go over some details really quickly, some announcements that I would like to do, talk about a giveaway possibly that we're going to do, and talk about 25 days of Christmas, our Advent calendar box, and then our Sew and Show subscription box. So those have been a tremendous success over the last 3 years. I think now, Lisa, going on 3 years. We have the lovely Lisa, which will be starting, We have the lovely Lisa, which will be starting off the first segment. She will be going from 10 to 11, showing you some of our many cool templates. There's so many of them. I'm going to try to keep her going, giving you enough information to show you.
10, I think I got 14.
Cool. Yeah, so she has an hour, if you do the math, and she has 14 templates. That means she has about 6 minutes per template. So I'll be like, that's what I'm going to be doing to Lisa the whole time. She'll be like, yeah, probably make her a nervous wreck, but we're going to keep her going on those templates, and then it's going to be her turn to do that to me, as I have 12 or 13 products as well that we are going to be going over. And some of the cool things are, you know what, let me try to pull on so I can at least say hi to some people.
Right.
Okay, let's talk about the...
Yeah, how do we get the live on here?
Just go to the main page and then you'll see the
Live,
links.
gotcha. Before I get started, I want to say hi to a lot of people out there. So if you're, here we go. Let me say hi. Margot, good to see you. Thank you for the neat idea. I'll talk to you more about that. Miss Clark, good morning. Missy Proctor, always a pleasure. I love to see you on the fabric sales. Good to see you here too. Miss Tanya Wallen, always good to see you. Miss Debbie King, I don't think I've seen you in a few weeks. Lynn Gertch, welcome. That's a new name. Thank you for tuning in. Maybe it's not a new name. Maybe it's just new for me. Wanda Swenson, good to see you. Miss Kimberly Zellini, she's my neck of the woods. Good to see you. Kathy Varner, good to see you. Miss Collins, good to see you. Miss Diana Bullington, good morning. I haven't seen or talked to you in a while. Good to see you. Miss Kraus, good morning. Yes, thank you. It is Happy Independence Day Eve to all of you. Tomorrow is going to be our 4th of July, and I'm going to go out and watch some fireworks. Hopefully I can light some of my kids on fire if I do a good job in our bottle rocket war. Just kidding, by the way. Let's see. Miss, if I butcher this, don't shoot me. Miss Rita Neymeyer, good to see you. Miss Smith, good morning. Miss Patricia Ross, always a pleasure to see you, young lady. Susan Bogart, good to see you as always. Miss Stanton, not sure if I remember that name, but it's good to see you. Miss Dean, good to see you. Miss Jorgensen, Miss Fry, Miss Candy Thorpe. So let me see something real quick. Okay, so I want to start off by saying hi to, hold on, let me get this really quickly. Let me pull something up so I'm not butchering anything. Okay. I want to say a special shout out to Miss Jan Miller Venable. She is the mother of one of my favorite people in the entire world, and that is Courtney, don't shoot me, Gavro, hopefully I pronounced that right. Gavro. I always butcher her last name too. She is one of my favorite people. She owns the Quilted Cow up in Raymore. So if you're ever in her neck of the woods, and Courtney, if you're watching, tell me the state. You'd think I'd know the state since I've been there several times. Missouri. I think it's Raymore, Missouri. I think that is it, Raymore, Missouri. If you're ever in her neck of the woods, make sure you go say hi to Courtney and tell her that Dave Martelli sent you. She has a beautiful store there. I went to an event that she had one time, and I think it was probably 70 to 100 people there. And it was actually her birthday, and I've never seen in my entire life so many people love one person in my life. So I was like, hey, maybe after this, I have no friends and nobody likes me, Kathy, so maybe you can give me some pointers where I at least get 1 or 2 people to like me. But no, she is well loved up there, and no wonder why. She does a great job putting on events up there. So I had a really good time. But anyways, Courtney's mama, Thank you for tuning in. It's good to see you. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for taking an interest in Martelli the way you have. I was informed today that you absolutely love your table and your chair. So thank you for that. I can't imagine a testimony better than the mother of Courtney on our product. So thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you very much. Okay, next we're going to go over when Lisa gets up here for her first segment of the day, and she's going over these templates. Before she starts, we have a really good idea for everybody. If you have not participated in our Advent calendar, which is our 25 days of Christmas box, you get one gift, 25 days pre-Christmas. You get to open up one gift per day for 25 days before Christmas. That has been a huge success. We're a little short we're a little down this year. We understand money's tight with a lot of people, so we want to incentivize you. So Lisa's going to give you the rules in a minute, but here's the thing, and we're going to kind of go over the quilts in a minute too, but we're going to raffle 5 quilts away, and guess how much it's going to cost you if you buy the Christmas Advent box? Guess how much it's going to cost you? We're going to do 5 free quilts raffles. We're going to give away 5 awesome quilts. The only thing you have to do is sign up. Now, how can we sign up? It's really easy. You go to the martellinotions.com, which is our website, and you simply add, or you go to 25 days of Martelli and you sign up. There's a few ways to do that. If you have questions regarding the 25 days of Christmas Advent calendar box, we are going to direct those questions to Colby, correct?
Yes.
Give me Colby's email
Colby
address.
at martellinotions.com.
Colby, C-O-L-B-Y, Colby at martellinotions.com. She will answer any questions you have regarding the 25 days of Christmas. And she's always excited. That's kind of her baby and her pet project. So she's always excited to answer those questions and get involved in any way she possibly can. Whether it's answering questions or actually picking out the gifts. Now, we don't make a lot of money on that box. I'm going to tell you right now. 90%, last year was 100%. This year it's going to be about 90% of what we make on this box goes towards the gifts. Listen, if we were depending on the 25 days of Christmas to make Martelli money, we would go out of business. We do that as a way of thanking all of our customers throughout the year that spend so much money with us, and we are so thankful for that. So we try to reinvest back in our customers. But make sure, once you see these quilts, that make sure that you go immediately. Oh, let me take a step back for a second. I want to tell everybody this. It's really important. Stop what you're doing for me for 1 second. You're going to need it. Go get a pen and go get a piece of paper, because you are going to need to write things down that you want. Now, there's 3 segments. We're going to have a template segment, we're going to have a product segment, and then at the very end, we're going to do what we have never done before, and I'm going to do multiple deals on multiple tables. I'm going to do a 3-table deal. I'm going to do 2 different 2-table deals, and then we're going to do multiple 1-table deals. So I don't want you to get lost in all the excitement and all the demonstrations and go, oh, what was it that I wanted? So if you have a pen, you can write Lisa in her first segment. When she's showing you a template, she's going to tell you the name of the template. When I do my section, I'm going to tell you what the name of the product is. Write it down. When I do the tables, I'm going to give you the table deals. I'm not going to give you the prices unless you call me, but that's neither here nor there. We'll discuss that when we get there. There was something that I was just going to say that was so important, Lisa, and I just forgot it.
No, I don't know the prices of they say.
Yeah, no. Oh, thank you. Okay, this is probably the most important thing that I'm going to say today for this venue. We are going to do 40% off all products on the Martelli Notions, except for a few. There are some products that I never show, and the reason why I don't show them is because I don't have enough room or enough markup in there to drop it 40%. So I don't sell it wholesale, I don't sell it distribution, I only sell it retail. And when I get to those products, I'll tell you what they are, and the prices that I'm discounting them to, you'll never get discounts like that. No, they're not 40% because I don't have enough room in there, but there are bigger discounts on certain products than I've ever given before. That will be during this venue as well. So pen, piece of paper, when we get to important things, I'll stop you and I'll tell you, hey, this is important, pay attention. Also, we're going to do 1 or 2 giveaways today. We'll probably do 1 giveaway right before we close each segment. And then in order, this is important, in order to get your product, if we pick your name, in order to get your product, you must reach out to Olivia at What's your email address, Olivia?
Martelli Digital Media
Martelli Digital Media
at Gmail.
at Gmail. Martelli Digital Media at Gmail. So in order
Should
to
put it on the comments.
yeah, she'll put it in the comments. In order to get your prize, if we pick you, you have to send us your phone number, your address, and all that good stuff. I haven't even picked the giveaways yet, but we're going to do that. Okay, let's get right into it because we're a little bit behind schedule today. Before we get started, Lisa and I are going to show you the 5 quilts that we are raffling. So once you get to Martelli, 25 Days of Christmas, these are the quilts that you will have the opportunity to win. Go ahead, Lisa.
First, I'm going to talk about the rules of what we're doing. So this is going to be the 25 Days of Martelli quilt drawing. Those of you, if you have purchased the box, you are already in it. So I'm going to read these off to you. When you purchase a box, you are automatically going to get 10 tickets to be put into the drawing. We're not going to be sending out physical tickets. Your name will be entered into it. We'll put little papers. We'll have a big old fishbowl, right? Big old fishbowl.
Big
Everybody's
fishbowl.
name's going to be in there. So if you bought a box, you got 10 tickets that's going to go in the fishbowl. And then we'll be doing the drawing. Now here's how you can get more than 10. If you refer a friend and they buy a box, not only are they going to get the 10 tickets, but you as a referral of that person will get 5 additional tickets into the drawing. But you need to email Colby at martellinotions.com and let us know who it was that referred you. Okay, next. The drawing is only open to those who purchase the 25 Days of Martelli. This will continue while supplies last, or when all of our Christmas boxes have been sold. The drawing will be held live, so mark your calendars, on December the 1st at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. You do not have to be on the live to win. We will notify you if you are one of the winners, and you can only win 1 quilt. I've got them right here. You ready to start showing them?
One condition. Can I win a quilt if I put my name in there and I get an advent box?
All the quilts belong to you already.
Well, I know, but it just feels better if I can win one.
Okay, let's see if we can win one.
Can I win one, everybody?
Right.
Okay, let's show the quilts.
So we pulled from our big stash of quilts, and I got one big one at the very end. I'm just so excited to show this one. All right, so here we go. So the first one that we're going to do is a set. So this is a quilt set. So you got this beautiful little...
So that's 2 quilts.
So this one is like a Barjaro. Okay, see that one? So here is like a little lap quilt, but I couldn't not have this one without doing the table runner that goes with it. So this is quilt set number 1. This is the first one. We got 5. So
Very
they're
cool.
awesome quilts that we've made here, and Lynn has quilted most of these.
About time, Lynn, if you're watching. About
Here
time.
is quilt number 2. So this is a nice table runner. It could also be one of those that you put at the foot of your bed.
Ooh,
How
pretty.
pretty is this one?
That is awesome.
Put the flying geese in here. So this is quilt number 2.
Look at the grunge in there. Look at the touch of green
I
in there.
know.
So
We got
pretty.
grunge and florals. It's really pretty.
Yes.
Nice backing, again quilted by Lynn. Here is our 3rd quilt for the giveaway. And again, refer a friend. Get them in. Those of you who have already bought, to me this is upside down. Let's go this way.
All right.
So to me, you've already got, those of you who got the box, you got 10. Get some more and refer somebody, get 5 more chances to win. So this is a nice lap quilt here.
So do I get 5 tickets for everybody that's watching on here that signs up? 'Cause
Yeah,
I'm referring.
yeah.
So everybody go sign up so I can get a bunch
And
of
then
tickets.
you have to email Colby.
I'm just kidding,
David
y'all.
referred me.
I'm just kidding. I will not take your tickets.
This one is just so bright and
Oh,
cheerful.
Pretty.
How pretty is this one?
That is awesome, man. Look
Got
at the
16
quilting.
patch. You've got the half square triangle. Just really pretty. Nice quilt.
Who quilted this?
This would have been Lynn.
Well, she did
I
a
think
phenomenal
Lynn has done all
job.
the
Lynn,
work on all
good
these.
job. Beautiful quilting.
So here's the last one. Now this quilt right here was probably one of the biggest patterns over the last couple of years, particularly around the holidays. And Colby thought I was crazy for putting it in, but I thought this needed to be in for our December drawing. It's the gigantic snowflake.
Pretty.
Look at that one. So this is the big grand prize.
I mean, you think about it, like quilts on average, like even this size, man, you're looking at like $300,
Yeah, this is
$400
probably a $300 quilt easy or more. I remember I made this. I love it. quilt, Colby goes, well, why are you going to give it away? I can make another one. I can make another. But this was is just so pretty. And the motif that she put on here with the snowflakes that's in it.
Beautiful.
So this is the last of our quilts. Who's to say we might not throw some more things into the drawing? But again, everybody has 10 tickets. Refer somebody, get 5 more tickets, and of course they get 10 tickets too.
Well, I'm excited. I don't know about everybody watching, but I'm certainly excited. I think that is phenomenal. Where else can you go and get really 25 cool gifts, and on top of that, the opportunity and a good chance to win a beautiful quilt.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm going to step off, Lisa. I'm going
All
to
right.
give the stage to you. Make
Where
sure
you
you have your pen and your pad, and make sure that you're taking notes and write down what you want. And check us out at martellinotions.com. Lisa, take it over. You
We're
got it.
going to start seeing this in all of our advertising. We'll be putting this out there. We'll have the pictures of the quilts in the advertising, so be sure to watch out for it. All right, so I wanted to start off with this one that I have behind me. So let me grab the box. Okay. I pulled this quilt today as our backdrop because it's 4th of July. I thought it was just the perfect quilt to have for our backdrop today. And this is actually one of our templates. This is the Survivor template set. So here is the Survivor template set. It's 5 pieces to this template set. And look at this beautiful quilt that this made. So this one here is our very first one, but you can use this template set for so many other things. Here's where I used it to make a cute little placemat. I've got a table runner here. The sky's the limit on your imagination on how you want to use the templates. What makes the templates awesome is that you can use them over and over. They're not paper. They're not going to fall apart on you. And everything's going to come out perfect. Everything's been tested. This was designed by one of our customers. This was, Gail did this one. So she had created this one. But I wanted to show you, here's a cute little twist with the Survivor template set. Make something like this for those teachers in your life. How cute is this with the pencils? So I absolutely love the Survivor. It's just so unique, so easy to do. And of course, everything's going to come together perfectly every single time when you use the Martelli template. So again, I wanted to showcase first this one right here. This is our Survivor template set. So good price on this one, right, David?
Yes.
I don't know what the prices are on any of these.
On the templates, it's like 40% off.
40% off.
Most of the website is 40% off. The website, there's a few products that there's not enough margins in, but even those products I gave really special pricing on.
So I threw this one in. This one wasn't in my original setup, but I thought when I pulled this quilt, you're going to ask about the quilt. So I thought, well, I'm going to go ahead and pull this template into this show because a lot of you, when you see these quilts, you're like, how did you make that? What did you make that with? Well, this is the Martelli Survivor template set. Unique name on how this came to be Survivor. Gail had created this when we were all in lockdown during COVID. So she called it Survivor, and I thought it was just a perfect quilt. All right, so let's move on to the next one. So that was Survivor. I got so many to show you. And in this show, I did things a little bit different. Instead of just doing product, I wanted to add some quilts in with this one because we don't use our quilting templates because you don't usually always see those. So we got some quilting templates in this one.
Really quick, somebody had a comment. They want to know how they can go purchase the products during the live. They're going to have to leave the live to go to Martelli Notions in order to do that. That's why I recommend everybody getting a pen and a piece of paper and just writing down what you want. But if you
go to the website.
If you're in a hurry and you have something to do, or you're going to work or something of that nature,
I don't know if they can hear you.
Notions.
Okay, do you all hear David? If you can't, if you're wanting to get any of the items here, like write it down, or just go to the website. You might have to get off the live, but go to the website and purchase it from there, and you'll get the discount. All right. So the next one I'm going to show is this one. This one's been around for a little while. This one here is our panel border template set. This is a unique set that I have with the full instructions in here. We've got a video tutorial on this also. But this is one of those great projects where it will work with pretty much any panel that you have. You just kind of customize it to get it to the size. So I've got several of the samples here of showcasing the panel border template set. And what I love about it is because it frames that panel that you're doing with this gorgeous ribbon template. Ribbon block that you're doing, and then you've got the hourglass blocks that go around it. This was the very first one that I had done with the template set. So I'm going to pull this up. See if I not upside down. Okay, there you go. And we had done this one at a retreat a couple years back, and it just went over so well. People absolutely loved it. So again, you're going to get the templates to be able to make the panel, which is the ribbon that goes around your panel, and then I talked to you on how to make the hourglass blocks, and in the instructions I talked to you about how to get your panel to the right size and with the different borders that you put around it so that you can easily frame any panel that you have with the panel border template set. So here's one version. Here is another one with a different panel. If you can see it, see the panel with the ribbon going around, kind of the same colorways, but I wanted to show you this one. You use black as a background, kind of makes the colors just sort of pop. And here's the black one. I need to do some with some different panels so you can see it. But this one is our panel border template set. Comes with quite a few. You've got the 3 pieces that you need to make for your half square triangles, and then the pieces that you need to make for your ribbons. So everything is in here, plus written instructions, and of course there is a video, pretty much a video with everything that you see here. You can always go to YouTube and type it in there and you'll be able to see the video. All right, so that is the panel border template set. All right, so let's move on to the next one.
Lisa, do you want me to help you do that? Or
I need that.
Okay. Let me go over here.
Okay. All right. So this one I want to show you is, you all know about the Martelli oven mitts. And we've got the 2 sizes. We've got the small and the larger oven mitts. But Margot was the inspiration for this one. She wanted an oven mitt that was longer. So I brought to you the 2 different sizes of our oven mitts, but extra long. So I wanted to show you the difference of these. Here is our extra long large. She wanted something to cover your arm. So I'm going to hold it up so that you can see, look at that, nice and long. This is just the perfect oven mitt. Make this for the guys in your life for grilling. How cool is that? Nice, big oven mitt. And we've got it in both sizes. Again, here's the larger one. Covers up your arm, a great oven mitt. And then here we have it in a little bit of a smaller version. So we've got it the 2 different sizes. We have one. This is the extra long oven mitt, and this one is the large extra long oven mitt. So this one is one of our newest templates that we just came out with. So I thought you guys needed to see this because a lot of you are not aware that we have an oven mitt. We still can get the smaller one that's not quite as long, but now we've got the extra long ones. A little bit more coverage for those of us. So what do you think, Dave?
Awesome.
Yep,
awesome.
yep. All right, good time to get this one. Makes great gifts. So let's move on to the next one.
Do you care what order you get them?
Nope. All right, so this one here I thought we'd showcase with the holidays, not just around the corner. We love to make a lot of baking. We like casseroles. Of course, summertime we make casseroles. So I thought the good one to showcase would be our casserole cozy. We have it by the 8x8 and the 9x13. These are based off the Pyrex dishes. So here I wanted to show you the 2 different sizes. This is our 8x8 casserole cozy. Has a perfect little handle right here. So it's easier to wrap it around if you're pulling something that's hot. Carrying something that's hot, you can easily wrap the handle around to hold it. Of course, you can put some Insul-Bright in this if you want to have a little bit more of an insulating feature to it. And this one is our large 9x13. So here is with these colors. I mean, you can just, the sky's the limit on what color you want them to be, but I've made so many different ones here. This is 8x8. Should have ironed this one. Here we go. But again, be sure to pick up your casserole cozies today. They're just a lot of fun. They go together really, really quickly. Again, the 8x8, simple template, and the 9x13. Again, full written instructions with all of these. And of course, there are videos. So you can go online and you can pop in and watch the video and just do it along with me online. And that is our castle roll cozy. I miss not seeing comments.
Yeah,
I miss not seeing comments.
Well,
All right.
when we get the new building, we're going to have a studio, and it's going to be set up proper, I can promise you.
That's right. All right, so this one here, we've never had this one in any of our online trade shows. This is our puff pouch. Now, this was in our subscription box. Was this last year?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
think this was last year. So I have the puff pouch here in all the sizes. So when we came out with the puff pouch, you had, I believe it was the medium size. And I don't know if I have that medium here, but I do have a sample of the medium. So this was in the subscription box. I'm trying to think of what month it was. I want to say it was like April or May of last year. But this is just the most adorable little project, super easy. The templates, we have them in 5 different sizes. We have our mini, we have the small, we have a medium, large, and an extra large. And I've got them all right here. So I'm going to start with the mini. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the mini was in the Christmas box that we had last year. And this is the mini. And here is the template for the mini. Every one of these has written instructions and there's a video. So this is our little mini, cute little project, easy to put together. I mean, this one takes just minutes to make this one. Of course, I put a little D-ring on here. You can easily attach it to your keychain and just carry it with you. So here is the mini, here is the small.
Can I ask you something real quick without interrupting? Is it going to bother you if I ask you something real quick?
Not at all.
Okay, the panel border template set, does that come with the ribbon template?
Yeah, you have the templates to make the ribbon and the templates to make the hourglass.
Okay, thank you.
Everything is in there to make them. Absolutely.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, anytime somebody has a question, I love feedback, so I'd love to hear what anybody has to
I
say.
lose my train of thought. I go nuts when people ask me questions.
Hey, if you've made these things, be sure, hey, post it on there. Hey, I made that. I loved it. Or let me know that you really like it, like the items that I'm showing you. This one here was the mini. So here is the small. So the mini is our newest one of the puff pouches because this was in the Christmas box. But this one is the small one. This is the perfect little bag for a makeup bag, just a great little travel bag. And you can put different materials. You can use foam, you can use fleece, however you want to. You can just make it with just regular batting if you wanted to have batting in them. But they go together so easy. And it's a great project if you're learning how to do zippers. I've never always been a big fan of zippers, but I'm learning. I'm getting better at zippers. So here is the small. Here is the medium. This is the size, and actually this is the colorway of the project that was in our Sew and Show subscription box last year. And what makes the Sew and Show subscription box is because we make it exclusive to those of you who get it, and then nobody else can get these projects for like, what, 3 months?
Yeah.
3 months, so we make it pretty much exclusive to you. So here is the medium, and then this one is the large, and this one I changed it up just a little bit. You can add handles to it, so it'd be a cute little bag that you can take with you. Fun fabric, stitch is all the rage right now. So this one has some stitch fabric that I happen to have. Super fun. And then we got a bigger one. So this one here I made, so not only has pockets on the inside, you got your zipper on here, but by adding a couple tabs and some rings, you can put a long handle on this, and this could be a purse. So it's a lot of fun, a lot of great tips on there on the video on how to make these and how to add some extra features. All of these, I believe, these two have the foam, kind of gives it a little bit more body. I think these were made with foam. This one here was made with fleece. So however you want your puff pouch to finish, use whatever product for the middle. But they go together so quickly. Again, this was a fast project. Great to make these projects and put them on your Etsy store. Or if you love going to shows where you sell things, ask Tanya. Right, Tanya? This is what Tanya does.
She does well.
Yeah, she does very well. She makes these things, takes them to her little trade shows that she goes to, and makes some money. So I'm always all about that. Use these templates because you can use them over and over and over again. They're unlike anything out there versus a paper template or a plastic template, because these have the get a grip on the back and they're going to stay, and every time you use them you're not going to have anything shifting on you. So again, we got all the sizes from mini, small, medium, large, and extra large. And all these are going to be at a great price for you.
So how many times have you used a paper template, you go to cut, it moves on you, and then you waste the fabric, you lose your cut line. These will not allow you to lose your cut line.
Or even if you take that paper template and you trace it onto maybe some thin plastic, well, your rotary cutter, it still will cut it. It will still change the shape of it. These are going to be consistent every time. All right, so what have we got? Okay, so this one here is another one of those projects that's done with a pattern. So this one we came out with a couple of years ago, and it has been a huge hit. This is the Dancing Diamond. So this one is not our pattern, but I'm going to pull the pattern out. So when you get this template set, you're also going to get the pattern that goes with it. This is Dancing Diamonds. It is a table runner and a quilt that's in here. So you got several different sizes that you can make in here. It makes a table runner that is 55 by 20, a quilt that is 52 by 55. But what makes this unique is you got all the templates in here to be able to make this fun project. Now I only have the table runner. And this one has been so much fun to do in so many different colorways. But this is the Dancing Diamond. And this has been one of our most popular projects. And it looks really hard, but it is not. You are not sewing curves. There is no curve sewing at all. There's a secret to it, but if you read the pattern, it shows you every step of the way on how to make it. Now, what we've also done different is that with this pattern, not only are you getting the templates to cut out the shapes that you need, but if you wanted to have something showcased in that template, this one also comes with the fussy cut windows. So if there's a design on the fabric that you're using and you want it to be showcased into that block, use the fussy cut windows to center it in there, place your template in there, remove the fussy cut window, and now you can quickly cut it out and have the shape that you want to have in there. So we've got the full, there's also a video online on making the Dancing Diamonds. Again, it is not our pattern, but it has been a big hit because this pattern makes it so easy. And again, it's no sewing of any curves at all. You're just love it.
That's the pattern for the Dancing Diamonds?
Yep, it's called Dancing Diamonds. This is the pattern. When you get the template set, you get the pattern with it. Anytime we do a pattern with templates, you always get the pattern with it. And again, this is just a table runner. It also will make, like I said, a quilt. Of course, you could always make a quilt larger by just adding more borders to it. Again, this is Dancing Diamonds, and I've done it in several different colorways. It's so much fun to make. All right, so that is Dancing Diamonds.
You're doing good.
All right, just want to make sure.
Doing good.
Just want to make sure we're good on time. All right, so here's another one. This is also a pattern that we have templates for. And I wanted to showcase this one. Now, this one is kind of special. This was last year, and we also did it this year. Those of you who got the Martelli, 25 Days of Martelli, the Christmas box, we had a pre-sale in January. So those of you who did the pre-sale in January, everybody got an extra gift. Not only did you get the 25 Days of Christmas, but those who did the pre-sale for that month also was a part of the extra gift for those who did the pre-sale. So last year, the pre-sale was the Watching Snow Fall pattern template set, and all the fabrics, everything you needed was in it to be able to make this project right here. So you've got the templates in here, you've got the full pattern in here, and when they bought that gift, when they bought that box, they got all the fabrics they needed to be able to make the 2 placemats, and how fun is this, the table runner. So we loved it so much, so we went ahead and made it part of our lineup. So if you want to get the pattern, you're also going to get the templates to go with it to be able to make it, and everything's on here. And I think we did a video. Olivia, did we do a video on this one?
Yep.
Yep, so there's a video. We did a video too. So again, this is not my pattern. Again, it's called Watching Snowfall. This is by Annie's Quilting, and it was designed by Chris Malone. Absolutely fun project. It goes together so quick, and you could change up the colorway so many different ways. We did this one in shades of grays and blues, but you could really have fun playing with the fabrics on here and make more than just just the 2 placemats that came with it, just have more fabric, make more. But I just loved how this one all came together. It teaches you some really unique techniques in here. And of course, you're doing some embroidery. Of course, you're embellishing with some buttons. This was just a lot of fun. So we wanted to make this one available for those of you who absolutely loved this. It was in the Christmas box. I want to say like 75 people had everything they needed from beginning to end to make this in that box. You got the backing, you had everything to make it. And we're doing it again this year too. So, all right, moving on. So that one is Watching Snowfall. Absolutely fun. We're showcasing another one that was in the Sew and Show subscription box. This one was probably one of my absolute favorite ones. Of course, I absolutely love fall. And David had so much fun cutting this fabric. I wish I would have got some pictures of David. But we had all these bolts of fabric, and here he is cutting 2.5-inch strips to put into the boxes. But this one here is our maple leaf table runner. Again, this is not our pattern. And I'm going to pull it out. It's Maple Leaf Table Runner. It was designed by Christine Van Buursik. This is by Cut Loose Press Design. So if you get the pattern, you're going to get all the templates that you need to be able to make the Maple Leaf Table Runner or the Maple Leaf block. And I love this one. What I loved about this block here was how it truly looked like a maple leaf, and it came together so beautifully. Because you had the templates, every single one is going to come out perfect to make your maple leaf block. So this one was done last August. I think this was in our Sew and Show subscription box last August. And it was absolutely fun. And of course, we got a video. So this is just some of the blocks. And this was the project that you had received. Of course, there was a backing and badding. Everything was in it. These are the strips that David cut. But we did this one here all in grunge except for the outer border. So I pulled all the colors for our maple leaf in here. But for those of you...
2.5-inch strips were cut wrong. We're going to say that Brooklyn did.
I know, okay. But anyway, this was absolutely a lot of fun. So this one makes a project... let's see, it's 18 by 40 and a half. Of course, you can always add more blocks to it to make it longer. But again, what makes this is you've got the pattern and you have all the templates, these 5 pieces right here in the packaging for you to be able to make the maple leaf table runner. And this is probably the prettiest maple leaf block I think I have ever seen, because to me it really looks like a maple leaf. I think it's this piece right here that really made this block really stand out. But I wanted to put this one in here. Again, this was the Sew and Show subscription box. So if you are not picking up the Sew and Show subscription box, you are really missing out on some really great projects that you could be making, learning some new techniques, and I guess you could make these things and you could sell them and make some money. So just a lot of fun.
And to get the Sew and Show monthly subscription boxes, a lot of people, when you buy it from other companies, they'll put little cheap stuff in there. Mm-hmm. We give you most of the time, we give you projects that you can make that are unique, like what Lisa has showed you, or in other times, we're going to give you a tool or a product that's brand new most of the time, and even once per year, we give you a product where we actually lose money on the box. But again, that's one of our ways to advertise our company, to get everybody to know who Martelli is. So take advantage. Go to martellinotions.com and make sure you go to the Christmas Advent box, but most importantly, the Sew and Show box. That is a monthly subscription.
Yeah, monthly
it's affordable
subscription.
And cool.
Now, I'm going to go ahead and mention this while we're talking a little bit about the subscription box. We've kind of been tossing around a little bit about not only still having the monthly subscription box, but I guess I'd love to hear some feedback from you. What do you think about doing also a quarterly box? We've been thinking about doing a quarterly box, and it would be mainly a quilting project that we could do. We've been talking about, we haven't really, got the works going on it, but I think what I'd love to hear back is some feedback from you. Would you guys be interested in a quarterly box? Of course, we'll keep our monthly subscription box. We'll still have our Advent, our Christmas box, but a quarterly box that might be a little bit bigger, more than just a tiny project or a wall or like a table runner, but it'd be something a little bit more substantial. But we're thinking about it, so give us some feedback if you're interested in knowing about maybe us having a quarterly box also.
And if we do have a quarterly box, you can actually probably buy it. If you want to do it that quarter, buy it. If you don't want to do it the next quarter, don't buy it.
Yeah. Well, we got a whole lot of figuring out to do, but I wanted it to be, if we do a quarterly box, I wanted it to be a larger project, maybe, you know, like a small quilt or a lap quilt, something more substantial. Did you have something, Olivia?
We've got like 10 yeses already.
10 yeses already. All right, well, we're thinking about it. So we're trying to get some feedback on doing the quarterly boxes. I think that would be fun to do, as well as keep them with the monthly ones. The monthly always seems to be more geared toward like projects, but we also have, I throw in some quilting like you see that we've had in there. But I wanted the quarterly box to be more of a quilting experience. So
everybody's loving the quarterly, the box idea, right?
yeah, I think.
Okay, well that's my idea then.
All right.
I call it.
Okay, David's idea. All right.
Everybody knows I'm lying.
Okay,
I'm not that smart.
Here we are showing another project that was in the subscription box last year. This one was a huge hit, and when I designed this one, I knew I wanted it to be a big bag, and I wanted to have some different features to it. So this was how this one came about. This one is the Sew and Show Unitote.
I'm so sorry, real quick. There's a question that I can't answer.
All right, what's the
Somebody
question?
has to go to work. Can they find this on or YouTube later? Where are they going to find this
It'll
at?
be on Facebook today, YouTube a little later.
Okay, Facebook today, after, if you have to go to work or you have to leave, it'll be on Facebook later on today and YouTube in a week or so?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, because
Sorry,
they'll be able to
Lisa.
always go back and refer this before Facebook takes it away, right?
Yeah.
They're taking away all lives after,
Yeah.
30 days or something like
Yeah.
that. But we've been trying to save every one of our lives. Olivia and Serena have been working very hard to save all of the lives that we've done in years past, and then trying to get everything uploaded to the YouTube channel so that we don't lose them. The only thing I think we lose, is comments. People who made comments on all those lives. I think that's what I've been learning about. All right, so this one here is a project I want to say we did midsummer last year. This one is our Unitote. This one was a big hit. So this one I think was like the second or the third bag that we had done for the Sew and Show subscription box. Of course, those of you who got it had to wait. Those of you who didn't get it had to wait several months before we had it available. But we have this one in multiple sizes also. So everybody in the box got the medium size and everything they needed to make it. And what made this one so much fun is that we did it all in KAFE fabric. So you had the KAFE fabric on the outside, you had KAFE on the inside, and you had everything you needed to make it, from the zipper pull, to the little details that we had for the corners. Everything in here, full written instructions and a video. Everything was in it to make the Sew and Show subscription box, and you had everything to make this tote right here. But I couldn't just stop with just one size. So we had to come out with some other sizes. So we also had the small. How adorable is this little bag right here? Make this for the little girls in your life. It's just so cute. Also, this would make a great makeup bag or cosmetic bag or anything that you want to be. Got great pockets on the inside. I'm just using a little bit of fleece in here to make these, and then had to have the bigger one. So then we also have the big, large, big, huge bag right here. I think we used it for a drawing one time. I still got the drawing tickets in here. But here's our large, big bag. And I love doing projects with panels. And that's how this one came about. This was a panel of a sunflower. I love sunflowers. And so I used a panel to make this great bag right here. Got the panel on both sides, and then just pulled out some fun matching coordinating fabrics to put on the inside. But this is our Unitote. Again, you've got the templates, everything in here. So you've got the template to make the main body, plus you have the template to make these corner pieces right here. Everything in here, full written instructions, and a video. You can't beat that with Big Stick. It makes everything so much easier when you are more of a visual learner. Of course, the written instructions, I am very detailed when I write them, because I'm thinking about maybe this is somebody who is learning how to sew, and this is their very first project, so I break it all the way down. But the video, for those of us who are visual learners, to have a video that you could just pause, move, go to the next step. I love having the videos for you. Again, here is the big, large bag, again, done with some KAFE on the inside. I just love this one. Added some tabs on the side, so if you want to put a long, strappy crossbody hand strap on here, you could easily do that. Again, there's so many different variations that you could do. You could add more pockets. You could even probably create a pocket where if you want to drop a drink down in there, hold it in there. That's something I've been working on. So fun project. I hope you love the Unitote as much as I have, and I believe we have 4 sizes of this one. We got the small, medium, large, and extra large of the Unitote. So be sure to go to the website and pick these up today. Absolutely can't go wrong with the Unitote. I think they've been a big hit for just about everybody. All right, so that's the Unitote. Moving on. Ooh, another part. How many more we got left?
You're doing good.
We're doing
maybe
good?
4 or
Okay.
5.
All right, so here is one that was in December's box. No, wait, this might be November. I can't remember. This was a box that was also in the Sew and Show subscription box. I seem to just pulled from that this year. I think I wanted to do something a little bit different for this online trade show. I wanted to show you some things that have been out for the last year. This one here, I absolutely love doing this one. This one is,
Sorry, what's the name of the Unitote? Somebody was asking, they're trying to find it. What was the name of the Unitote?
I think it's called Unitote. Grab that one right
This
there.
one here?
Yeah, let's type the name. UNI-tote. So if you just type UNI into the search engine, you should be able to pull it up. Take a look, David. Do you see it there?
Yeah, I'm just going to answer it.
It's a Unitote. All right, so that's short because the original name was Universal Tote. And I think Nate was the one that says, let's just call it the Unitote. He thought that was just too many letters to put on a template. So we called it the Unitote. But it was originally going to be the Universal Tote, but it's Unitote. Because it's universal for whatever you want to use it for, from the small size to the big size, whatever. You could throw a laptop in there. I mean, it's just a lot of fun to make the Unitotes. All right, everybody good? Any other questions? How we doing? We doing good out there?
Yeah, you're doing great.
All right. I wanted to show you this one here. This one came about because last year, everywhere I looked, I kept seeing the leaded glass look quilts, the ones that had the leading in it with the little strips in there. So I thought, I think those are just amazing. I had done a project before I had even designed this one, was where I wanted to have it leaded. I wanted to have my seams with the leading on it. But when I was looking at the leading strips, which is, I believe it's the 1/4-inch bias strip that has the glue on the back side, the fusible on it. It was like $25, $26 for 11 yards of just that 1/4-inch fusible fabric that you could get. It's just 1/4 inch. It's so that you could fuse it to make the leading. And I thought, well, that's ridiculously crazy. How can I make it myself? So me and Margot put our brains to it, and we came out with the bias strip ruler. And that's this one right here. This one is the 1/4-inch bias strip ruler. But not only did we add a 1/4, but if you wanted your lead strips to be a little bit wider than a 1/4, we also have a 38-inch on the other side. So how did this work? So we took some fabric, and we put some fusible on the back side of it. We just did a fat 1/4. Put the fusible on the back of it. So the one that you just iron on and then you peel off the backing. And when I laid this down and cut from, on the bias cut, one fat 1/4 gave us 45 yards of fabric. One fat 1/4 gave me 45 yards of that 1/4-inch stripping. I thought that was crazy. Absolutely crazy. But I wanted to show you how to do that. So that's where this one came about. So with this one, it is the Scrappy Stained Glass Block Table Set. So you have the pattern, you have the pieces for the block, plus you also get the ruler that goes with it. Everything you need to be able to make the Scrappy Stained Glass Block. And I've seen a lot of you making this. What I loved about this, if you wanted your leading strips to be another color, they don't have to be black. If they wanted to be gold or silver or whatever color you want them to be, you can have that accent, making it yourself, saving yourself a lot of money by using this ruler right here and how easy it is. Of course, got the written instructions, but we have a video. The video is going to explain everything to you. So I'm going to show you a couple examples of the Scrappy block with the leading strip in it. It was so much fun, and it really makes it look like you worked really hard to put it together. But to make these and have that unique look, it seemed like everywhere last year I was seeing the stained glass blocks. So we made a placemat. We've got the little mug rugs that you can make, and I don't know if I have my finished table runner here. Let me see if I got it. Here we go. And I've got my table runner. So this one was absolutely fun. Of course, this one was done all in, I kept with the traditional red and green fabrics. So many different Christmas fabrics was in this one. But again, this is one that you could do in any fabric, any colorway, and it goes together so nicely, and it's a lot easier than what you think it is to be able to make this. It makes it look like you've spent hours and hours and hours working on it, but it goes together so much fun. And the templates, again, it's going to help you make the block. It's going to be perfect. There's so many different variations that you can do with the template and making different shapes, different designs on how you use it. You can even play with the color to create a pattern with the different blocks. There's a lot of different things that you can do with these template sets. But look at this. Look at all this. Look at all this ribbon that I've made. And again, it's just pennies on the dollar versus spending, like I said, $26 for like 11 yards for the bias tape. But again, this is the stained glass scrappy block table set. This was in the subscription box. In the box, they got all the fabric, everything they needed to be able to make it. But you can now use your own fabrics. You're going to get the templates. You're going to have the ruler to be able to cut it. I didn't need a long ruler for this one because you're cutting it on a fat quarter, and then you're folding the fat quarter in half, so you just don't need a super long ruler to make it. And then, of course, we have a video, so you can always watch the video and have fun making the scrappy stained glass block template set and making your own projects with it. And I love, love, love it when I see those of you who have actually made it and post your pictures. It just gives me such a joy to see the work that you have done. All right, so that is the scrappy stained glass block, and this one not only is a great project, but you're saving money. All right, moving on.
That's my favorite part, saving money.
Saving money, saving money. All right, so another thing that I saw that was all the rage over the last year, and this one was our project that we had that came out in February. This was in the Sew and Show box this last year. And it seemed like everywhere I looked, everywhere I saw people trying to figure out ways to save money, save the planet. So this is where we had come up with the Sew and Show duster template. This is the Sew and Show paperless towel. And we also have the Sew and Show hand duster. It's just a lot smaller of an oven mitt, but this one is so much fun. So this one we came out with in, I want to say, January. So we got the full video tutorial, and we did several projects with this one. So, and I have been, before this even came out in January, I've already been doing this for months and months. I got Margot doing it with me, using the reusable paperless towels. I mean, I use these all the time, and these are all just made out of flannel. But to have a template that makes everyone come out perfectly cut, and then it's just the way you serge it. You can serge it, you can zigzag it. I use a serger that cuts so I can have the nice curve, but you don't have to have the curve. So we got the perfect template that, you know, every time you do your cuts, they're going to come out perfect. You got the little hand duster. So that's what these are. So this one here is just made with flannel on both sides, just to quickly do some dusting, but you can also dress it up. You can add some terry fabric to one side, however you want it to be, but to have a template, you know that every time you do your cutting, they're always going to be the exact same every single time. So that is for the Martelli hand duster.
Lisa, can I say something real quick on this?
Yep.
And I don't ever want to interrupt Lisa, especially when she does such a great job, but I do want to interject just on here. With those paper towels, I don't know anybody out there. We have like 9 million grandkids in my house, and they are messy. You know, whether it's taking the pops or, you know, we had one that had McDonald's and he had the little dipping sauce and he's running, he kicks it over, it's all over the carpet. But I was talking to Shanny the other day. I'm like, you know what? I wonder how much we spend on paper towels. I actually did the math on this because of this. We spend $700 a year, and you don't recognize it because you're only getting it for 2 weeks to 3 weeks
Yep.
at a time, and then you call the Walmart order, and they come bring it, and they put it back on your
Paper
doorstep.
towels are expensive.
Man, it is, unless you want to get the one ply where your fingers come through and they don't pick anything up. We get the good stuff like the Brawny where it really picks up.
Or the Viva. Which
We
is
started
even
using
better.
these, and $700 might not seem like a lot to you, or you might not have, you know, 9 million grandkids, but I'm telling you this, and this is probably, I'm not fluffing this up because if I'm fluffing something up to make money, it's not going to be my cheapest template that I'm selling. It's going to be my most expensive template. But I'm telling you, as far as the idea that Lisa came up with to be able to use this, forget saving the earth. That's a great thing. Yeah, great. But really, in reality, let's save my pocket.
Save money.
The amount of money that this saved, and you throw them in the washer, Thank you. I'll take $700 a year.
Yeah,
but I had to
they're-
mention that because it was just
They're
insanely
awesome.
great.
And I've been using them probably for a year. Now, there's times when I still have a paper towel that I might use, but I hardly ever buy paper towels anymore. We use these every day. I use these every day. And what I love, I created a little, I have a little mesh bag. So when I am using it, I throw them in the little mesh bag, and then that goes into the washer. And then when I pull them out to go to the dryer, I just give them a shake, throw them in the dryer, and they come out pretty much like this. And you might have to do a little smoothing out, but I have been using these for probably a year now. I absolutely love it. So if they get a little tear or rip in them, then I'll just toss them away. But then I can make another one. This is just simple flannel. And the more you wash it, the more you use it, the more absorbent it becomes. And I use them from everything, from dusting, from cleaning the mirrors. I mean, if I'm just cleaning off the counter, I just grab one of these. Anything that you're using a paper towel for, I absolutely love using the paperless towels. I use them all the time. But I've also picked them up for using my mop head. Instead of buying the little Swiffer mop head you just throw away, I've been making them replaceable ones. But then the duster, to have the little duster, that's what this little template in here gives you all the cuts, everything you need to be able to make the little fluffy duster. So that this can be used, thrown in the washer, dry it, fluff it back out. I mean, you can use it over and over again. It works best, I think, with the fleece, with the flannel, but I've also made them with fleece, used them for the fleece. It's just a great product. Instead of getting those ones that you just use a couple times and then you have to throw them away, this is where you can use them over, make them and use them over and over and over. It's just been a really great project to have these quick little mitts to quickly do some dusting or polishing, just to have these. Again, this was all about coming up with ways to be able to save some money, things that we can use over and over and over again. And then you have little scraps. After you do all of your cutting, do all of your trimming, everything that you've made, you've got to have these little scraps. So take those little rounds, cut them into 3-inch circles, serge all the way around them, or sew all the way around them, and now you got some makeup removers that you can use over and over and over again. Again, this was in February's box of this last year. And so they have been a big hit. I've been using it for, I'll probably go home tonight. I'll take a picture of my paper towel roll that I've got these in the kitchen. I have 2 places. I have one where I've got them on the paper towel roll in the kitchen, but in my family room where I've got my puppies, I have them folded and have in a box. So I use them all the time. I think they're just a great project to do. So you just get some flannel, get some fleece, and you can really have make these. These make great gifts. Again, this is also something that you could also do and make some money. Full video on this. So not only do you have the written instructions, but you got your full video tutorial on putting this all together. All right, so that one was another sew and show box. All right, another sew and show box. I'm really going this one. All right, so this one, I want to say probably came out in March. This one is our crossbody bag. This one was an inspiration by Shannon. She wanted me to make some memory bags of her daddy who passed away, last year?
It's been 2 years.
It's been 2 years. And so she wanted me to make some bags for the grandkids with Allison denim jeans. Well, that's where the inspiration came to make the Sew and Show crossbody bag. And it was so much fun. And as I was making it, as we were coming up with it, I always added more things to it. So when I first made them, I didn't have the flap on it. I didn't have the fringe on it. But these are just some of the examples that we had made with the crossbody bag. Super, super easy. So you got the template in here, so it's going to be perfect every time. Plus you have the template if you want to add the flap. You don't have to add a flap to it. You could add a zipper to it. You could do whatever you want. But this one was in the Sew and Show subscription box, March, April. I'm not sure. It wasn't that long ago. But in it, we talked about showing you how to make it and then picking up some fringe that was fairly inexpensive, but to add a little bit of touchy fun to it, a little whimsy to your little bag. So this one here has the flat pocket with the magnetic snap on here. So one thing I really love about the Sew and Show boxes is that we're teaching you different techniques. This might be the first thing you ever sew, so you're going to learn about snaps. You're going to learn about how to make a crossbody strap or how to add fringe. So there's just so many different things, different techniques that I try to teach in each one of the Sew and Show subscription box. But this one was one of our latest ones that we had just this year. And again, I wanted to show that you can make fringe out of anything. So here's where I just took some batik fabric, cut it on the bias, and just kind of fluffed it up a little bit. Here again with that one. Now here's just some cording to make a cute fringe on the bottom. Again, this is just canvas, making a bag out of canvas. Again, the original inspiration was denim. So here is a denim made out of a pair of jeans, and then using the pocket that was on the jeans as part of the outside features, and creating pockets on the inside, and then showing you how to, we taught a different technique here on the side was the rivets. So one of the techniques we did was adding rivets to our bag, particularly when you're doing something that has a lot of density to it, that, if you're trying to put a snap in there or it's really hard, you can't really sew through it. So to add a rivet to it just makes it so much easier. And then again, this is fringe just made out of satin cording. So you can make fringe pretty much out of anything. But this one was a lot of fun. Again, you're going to get the template, full written instructions on how to make it. And of course, there's a what, David?
What? I'm sorry.
A video.
A video.
There's
yes.
a video. We have a video done on everything that you've seen so far today. So this one was absolutely a lot of fun. It's a simple project, but it goes together quickly. Again, it's a great appeal for a lot of people to make these, and it's just a lot of fun. So I'm going to just kind of show you how you can, with the crossbody strap that's adjustable, just easy to just take it with you. Heck, make it out of vinyl. That way you have one of these things that you can see through to take it to concerts. But it was absolutely a lot of fun. So I hope you enjoyed this one as much as I have. Make it with some fun fabrics. Try some different techniques for using the fringe. I think you'd absolutely love it. Again, full written instructions, templates that never change on you. They're going to come out perfect every single time, and a video. So that is the Martelli crossbody bag, or crossbody. It's the Martelli crossbody bag. All right, so that's this one. Just got two more to go. Whoop. All right, so this one here, I want to showcase this one. This one is another pattern that is not our pattern. This is the Yin Yang handbag. It's by Scrap Bags, and it's by Jamie Calvistrin Designs. So you get the pattern with it and this awesome unique template, to be able to make these awesome Yin Yang bags. These are absolutely fun. It is a very easy technique. You're going to be learning how to do these gussets that are on the outside. Really fun with the pockets that are like this one. I think the pockets are on the inside. You have the pockets here. But I think this one, I'm trying to find where my pockets are. Let's see. I think the pockets are on the inside. Pockets are on the inside. This one was super, super easy. You think it's going to be a lot hard. You're not sewing on curves. It goes together very well. Of course, you've got the full pattern, and we have a video on making this. So if you get the yin yang pattern or template, you're going to get the pattern that goes with it. And of course, we have a video on putting together the yin yang bag. And I've done it. I tried to find my samples that I had done with some Laura Birch fabric. I couldn't find it, but I had these right here, which is actually the exact same fabric that's actually on the pattern. Absolutely fun, a lot of fun to make these, and I think kids absolutely love this one. So this is the Yin Yang bag. Be sure to check out the website for that one. And this one is our last one. This one was done at a retreat a couple years ago, and I always like to pull this one out because it is not as hard as what you think it is. It makes a great gift, and this is one of those projects that I was inspired by to create. But this one is our shoulder wrap template
Lisa,
set.
Real quick, before you get into that one, since you're just starting, Kathy Delval made a really good point. She said, I put the material that keeps people from being able to scan your credit card debit card through your purse in the crossbody bag to take with her to Africa. That way her information can't
What a
get
great
stolen.
idea.
That
Yeah.
is a fantastic
What's
idea.
RIF? I think it's RIF fabric.
Something like that,
Yeah, there's
yeah.
a fabric that's a great idea, great tip. I haven't even thought about that. But yeah, you want to be able to protect your identity. So you can get that material that you could sew it into the lining absolutely easily, and that way you'll be able to save yourself from anybody trying to scan your identity. But yeah, great point. Thank you so much for
One
that.
other question. So there's a few people that said all the templates are 40% off, correct?
It's possible they're not all on sale. that I put on for.
Yeah, I think,
Oh,
because I
okay.
added a couple more that I didn't get, you know.
Oh, okay.
So we'll fix that. If it's not, we'll fix it.
Can't we just make when you get back, can't you just put all templates at 40% off?
Yeah, I'll put all of these in. I had to do it individually.
Oh, okay,
so
okay,
Yeah,
I didn't know
because I
all
threw a
of
couple more in here because I was looking at what I had, particularly this one. I thought, you know, sometimes I go quicker than what, you know, I didn't want to be over my time. I didn't want to be under my time.
No,
But
that's fine.
I threw a couple more
So
in.
there's no way we can just do all templates though, where you can push a button and puts all templates
I'll
on?
have to do it individually
Okay.
for each one.
Will it be
yeah,
timed?
I can do it today.
Okay, so what we're gonna do, folks, I'm sorry, I was wrong on that. I thought it was 40% off all templates. I was wrong, but it will be by the end of the day. It will be by the end of the
So
day.
just hold on.
Olivia will go back and she will make sure that everything is 40% off, only templates, only templates. Oh, and other things on the website will be sale, but I know all templates will be 40% off. So I apologize that I was wrong on that. So you might find a few on there that Lisa added that is not currently at that discount, but it will be by the end
Yeah,
of
I'm
the day.
trying to think which ones I added, but there's a couple that didn't get into here. You know, I thought, I'm gonna add this one too, and I'm gonna add this one. Oh, we gotta have this one. Oh, we gotta add this one. So, sorry. David told me to pick out 10, and I think I got 14.
So Miss Dove, we, just call the office, we'll make sure that you get that discount. Sherry
Yep,
Dove.
absolutely. All right, last one for me, and this
Oh,
one is the Martelli shoulder
One more
wrap.
thing, the sale runs through Monday, is that correct, Olivia?
Through Monday?
This sale, the 4th of July sale, will run all weekend until Monday morning.
Monday morning. All
Monday
right, got
morning.
that? Monday morning. So you got plenty of time. All right, last one, shoulder wrap. This one we've had for a little while, but to me it's a great gift to make for you know, our older parents, maybe somebody who's in a wheelchair, because the shoulder wrap is one of those, and this is the one I made for my mom, and my mom passed away about a year ago, and so I got it back. But this one I made for my mom, and the shoulder wrap was for her because she was always cold. But what I love about the shoulder wrap is not only is it one that you can put around your shoulders, but you can also use it as a simple little lap quilt. It's just a great project. Super, super easy to do. You just need a couple yards of fleece, a couple yards of fabric, and it goes together really quickly. And you have the pockets that are on the inside. And it's so much fun to do with, you could just do it with here where I just had strips of fabric that my mom absolutely loved flowers. She loved sunflowers, so I got the fabric for that one. Or you can just use a whole cloth panel, where this one here is just a big old piece of K fabric. So, and again, the stitching on this one was just simple waves. You can make it as difficult as you want it to be. This one here is where you're putting it all together with the fleece on the inside. I just did a big stipple. Here's just a single curvy stitch just to hold it all together. Here's the one that we did in the retreat. Now, again, this is probably about 3 or 4 years ago, where we showed you how to take jelly rolls and sew them all together and then make it part of the shoulder wrap. And then here I am. I love panel projects. If you was to see my collection of panels, I have so many panels. I love panels. And so here's where I was able to showcase how you can take a panel that you absolutely love and make it the centerpiece on the back of your shoulder wrap. So I want to just go ahead and wrap up with this one. You get the shoulder wrap templates on showing you how to use what we call the hockey stick and the pattern, the template in here for the pocket and for the placket that's in the front. Full written instructions in here with photos on this one, plus there's a video on putting this together. So that's everything, David.
Awesome.
I think I got it all.
Amazing, amazing job. So, I just picked someone a few minutes
I probably just
ago.
covered up the mic. Sorry. I've probably been doing that all day, covering up the mic as we're going. All right, so here comes David's getting ready. He's going to take it away with his patriotic shirt.
Yes.
I thought about red, white, and blue, but then at the last minute I changed.
We are going to do the Unitote giveaway. We're going to do the Unitote giveaway, and I just did a little thing that I have on my phone. It's a little app. Teresa Cook. Congratulations on the Unitote. Now, I need you. You're not going to receive it unless you send your information. What is your email?
Martelli Digital Media.
Martelli Digital Media at gmail.com. Martelli Digital Media at gmail.com. And Teresa Cook, congratulations. And you're going to get the Unitote. The Unitote, so congratulations for that.
Also, let them know that if they ever have a question on anything, if you have a question on any of the products that I've showed you or any of the projects that you're doing,
Email.
you can always email me at My name is Lisa Gifford. My email is learn@martellinotions.com.
Thank you, Lisa.
All right.
Lisa did an awesome job. Round of applause for Lisa. Good job, good job, good job. Thank you so much, Lisa. I always learn more every time I come in here and watch you. So it's a treat for me to get to watch you as many times as I've seen you. I still enjoy it. Okay. Really quickly, if you have a question, I was the one that was answering most of the questions. We only have 3 people in here today. So I have a helper that's going to be helping me hand products to me today. We're going to get right into the product aspect of this. If you have a question, ask it. Olivia, who is behind the cameras today, is going to try to keep up with everything that she possibly can. And she's going to just put her hand up, and then I'm going to say, what is the question? And then I'm going to try to get to it as much as I possibly can. So without further ado, let's get started. This is our press or cut mat. Press or cut mat. This is our 12 by 18 press or cut mat. I'm going to say the product name several times, so when you go to the website and you want to purchase this, you know what to put in the search bar. Now, really quickly, I was wrong. I thought it was website 40% off everything. The templates will be 40% off, and different products will have different percentages. Some of these products, I don't have a lot of wiggle room and negotiating room. So I'm going to give you a discount, but it's not going to be 40%. However, remember I said get a pen and get a piece of paper. I'm going to give you discounts on some of these products that's never been offered before, even if it's not 40%. So make sure, I'm going to tell you the product, I'm going to go over the features and benefits. Okay, how many times have you gone to a class? Let's say we talked about the Quilted Cow earlier. They do amazing classes. We're going to go to the Quilted Cow, we're going to do some classes, and we get there and they have these Walmart tables. They're plastic. I'm not saying Quilted Cow, but just most people do. And the reason why they do that is to accommodate as many people as they can. It's not about anything about being cheap or anything like that. But the problem with those tables, sometimes they're plastic and they're real slippery. So you put something on those tables, and when you go to cut with the smaller mat, it will move on you. So that's one big issue. The other problem is, when we go to these classes, we have these common areas, is what I like to call them, where you can go cut and you can go press, and there's always lines, and you're always in a hurry, and you have a teacher, and people are learning at different rates. But when you get to the cutting and the pressing, sometimes that common area gets a little bit full. So the one thing that I love about the press or cut mat, and we're going to get a close-up on this. Am I going to be on this camera right here? Okay. You're going to see the wool pad. Now, common sense will tell you, I'm going to go press on my wool pad here, but if I'm pressing on my wool pad, that heat's going to go through the wool pad, and it's going to go to my cutting mat. Well, what happens when you put heat near a cutting mat? Well, we all know it warps. So this is the ingenious part about this. If you do classes, if you do retreats, if you go on cruises, if you're going to a friend's house just to quilt or sew, this is vitally important. Okay, you're going to see this brown layer right there. There's 3 layers. That is our no-slip. Catch this peep this next thing, what I'm about to say. Moisture barrier. So there's 3 layers of our moisture barrier. So when I'm pressing on my wool pad right here, my moisture barrier keeps the heat from getting onto my cutting mat. So what that does, it allows me to cut on one side and press on the other side without ever worrying about destroying my mat. And the great thing is when I'm cutting, that wool pad will prevent it from moving. Now, the last feature and that I'm going to really give you, or more so a benefit than a feature, I would say, is if I'm sewing right here, then I don't need a lot of room, but I need enough room to be able to not impede on my neighbors. So it's a small enough area where it gives me plenty of cutting room, but I can also press right there. It keeps me at my station. It keeps me ahead of the game. It keeps me a little bit ahead of my peers that might be up in the common area, and allows me to do everything by my sewing machine. So this is the cut or press. We offer several sizes, the 12 by 12, the 12 by 18, and the 18 by 24. So the prices will be on the website. That is our cut or press mat. Next products. These are newer, and actually this has been such a huge success. We are going to come out with some more of these with different shapes and sizes, okay? So these right here, I'm going to show you what's so great about these. These are our notions organizer and our tray organizer, okay? So if you look on the inside of these, this is our 3/4 inch HDPE, so super solid. On the inside, and I'm going to show you what it's good for, we have these departments, right? So we can put our phones in there. Notice how my phone's not moving. I'm going to put my phone right here in the middle, and watch this. I'm going to put this almost straight vertical. Look at that. Almost straight vertical. See how my phone's staying? That's because it has the no-slip material in there. So this is going to allow us to put this on any surface. Our stellar table, our tabletop, on our cutting mat. How many times do you put something on the cutting mat and the thing slides all over the place? Maybe a drink. let's say you put a canned soda or maybe even your Yeti on there and you barely touch it. It's going to knock over because it's a slippery surface. All of our notions trays, our notions organizer and our tray organizer has the no slip. But here's the cool part. Here's the cool part. You ready for this? Not only is it on the inside, look at the back side. No matter what surface you put this on, it will not move. Can we get a wall shot right here? Is that possible? I'm going to put this on the wall. I'm going to put this on the wall. Watch. I can try to move this. This is slick wallpaper. That's slick wallpaper. I can try to move that as best I can, and I really, really have to push to get it to move because our black no slip right there is not going to allow it to move. This adheres to any surface. So any table, whether it's next to your sewing machine. Now let's talk about this. We talked about our cutting tables, right? So for Martelli, the Stellar, the Sensational, our Traditional, our Signature, we put a couple things. So we have the remote, and I don't have a remote in here. But the remote, we made a little remote for your table, so you can remote goes there, so you don't ever lose it. We made a little tray for your phone, but here's the cool part. We put the blade preservers in here. So for our rotary cutter, our 60 millimeter blades, we can put them in there, and then our 45 millimeter blades, we can put them in there. And we actually made a spot on our tray organizer. Thank you so much. That's perfect. So we can put our blades right there. How many times you go, I know I just bought some blades. I know I just bought them. I don't know what I did with them, but I need them. This is going to allow you to put your blades in a position to where you'll never lose them, and they'll always be out of harm way of cats, dogs, and children especially. We talked about the remote, right? So now we don't have to lose our remote anywhere. We have a nice little spot to put our remote in. And then our rotary cutter we can put right here, and then our phone. So a couple really cool and neat features to have. These are our notions and our tray organizers. You can see one comes with the blade preservers and one just comes with the open bins. So one is notions organizer and the other one is tray organizer. And you can find this, just type them into the search bar. Now, do you remember I told everybody, which camera am I on? Am I on this camera right here? The front camera?
On the side camera.
Okay. Remember that I told everybody there's going to be a few products that I don't have a lot of margins in, okay? And I said, hey, when I get to those products, I'm gonna pull up a little red flag right here. And I'm gonna say, hey, pay attention to this one. These two, there's not a lot of margins in here. I hardly ever run discounts, if ever. And if they're discounts, they're like 5% or 10% discounts. I'm doing, I think it's like a 30% discount on these. So if you want the Notions Organizer, these are two of the products that I really want you to pay attention to because I'm giving bigger discounts on these than I've ever given before. So Notions Organizer and Tray Organizer. Okay, fantastic products right there. Next, our Ergo case. Do we have an Ergo cutter? Okay, question. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have patterns for those small mini charm packs you showed at the first of the show?
I didn't pay attention to that. What is she referring to?
Mini charm.
What was the question one more time?
Do you have patterns for the small mini charm?
Let's have her call the office on that one. I don't want to answer something that I'm not privy to. But I do know, can you go grab me a small cutter and those products you just took away, one of those blade tins? There's a little blade tin right on top. Any one of them. Perfect. Okay. So the next one, this is going to be our rotary cutter case. And if you're going to look at the rotary cutter case right here, you're going to see it's nice and deep. That's where your 60 or your 45 goes. There's plenty of room in there. Obviously, thank you so much. Appreciate that. So we can put our extra blades right there. Thank you, ma'am. And this is, you know, how many times, if I've seen this once, I've seen it a million times, where I go to these trade shows where they do classes and they do like little get-togethers, and everybody has their Martelli cutters, and they have their name written all over it, and they're like, you know, the way that it's designed is awesome, but it's really tough to carry. So that's why we designed a case. So if you look at this, the rotary cutter fits perfectly in there, 60 or 45, and then it has a little slot where you can keep your extra blades. But the one thing that I love about it, you ready for this? And I don't know, you're probably not going to see this, but hopefully you can hear this. You ready? I can drop that. I can throw it off a 2-story balcony, and when I open it, it's going to protect it, so I never have to worry about my rotary cutter getting damaged. See that? And then also my blades, right? So this really protects your rotary cutter, and this is the Martelli Ergo Cutter Case. Ergo Cutter Case is the product name. Ergo Cutter Case. That is the product name, and that's what it does. Okay, fantastic. All right.
Front camera now.
Is Lisa still here? Lisa, if you're still here, can I see you real quick? Okay. This has been our #1 selling product of 2025. It was introduced on the back end of 2024, and this is our foot pedal riser.
Such a simple idea, and I'm going to explain it to you the best I can. If you do not have this product, do you have any of the blocks really quickly? For the yeah, well, I'm going to do that later. But where you've pressed the seams with the block press?
Oh, the block presses. We didn't bring those.
I probably did not. That's why I was asking you. But anyways, foot pedal riser, and I'm going to let Lisa give a quick testimonial on this. But this is absolutely insane. Okay, so what we have here is I want to say it's a 12 by 12, and it has our no slip material. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Size of the presser cut mat?
What about it?
What size is it?
We have 12 by 12. We have the cutter press mat. We have a 12 by 12, a 12 by 18, and a 18 by 24. So there's 3 different sizes of that cutter press mat. Back to the foot pedal riser. This is the foot pedal riser. So really, really simple. When you get it out of the, well, let me give you the features and benefits first. Okay. Have you ever driven a car before and you're going from Florida to Massachusetts? Done it several times, right? One of the things that you notice when you're driving your car, your gas pedal is not perpendicular to the floor. Your brake pedal is not perpendicular to the floor. It's raised. The reason why for that, it's much more comfortable when you bring your foot, and this is what I always tell people. We design products that work for you instead of you having to work around your products all the time. That's why everybody loves Martelli. That's why our products are the best on the market. It's because of the design. So I want you to thank you so much.
This is my favorite tool in my studio.
Thank you. Well, I might even let you talk about that one then if you want to stick around. So really, really quickly, our foot pedal riser, one of the things that we want to do is we want to take our sewing machine pedal because in essence what it is a gas pedal, right? So we're going to take our, Lisa, I hate to ask this to you.
What?
Can you get me a foot pedal?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Thank you. Sorry about that. That I'm giving the features and benefits. I might as well put it on here and just give you the whole works. Okay. It's as simple. Now I'm just going to show you how to put it together. It's as simple as taking it out of your box and screwing and unscrewing. So I'm going to take this out. All the legs, if this is an ergonomic foot pedal riser, you're going to notice the front has 2.5-inch legs that are adjustable, and the back has 5-inch legs that are adjustable. It's as simple as taking the leg out and screwing it into the insert, putting the back to 5.5 inch in the back, and then you put the front to 1 inch, and you put those in the front. So let me put this back in. Sometimes it takes a minute to get it going.
That thing is the most amazing tool.
Oh, isn't it cool? It's coming, y'all. Just give me a second. Got to get it to right. And you can see when it comes out the other end, you can see where it's about right. So every leg is independent. So even if your floor is on level, it doesn't matter because these all screw in independently. Okay, so now I'm going to turn, are we on the front camera still?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to turn this sideways. Do you see the 2.5-inch lift there and the 5-inch lift in the back? What that does is it takes your foot pedal and it puts it at an angle, okay? So I'm going to turn it this way now. So most of the time, this is what you're dealing with. So you have to apply all the pressure, and I'm going to let Lisa talk about this too because she does way more sewing than I do, but you're talking about a perpendicular pedal to the floor, and now you're talking about raising up, especially vertically challenged people. I know what I'm talking about in this category because I'm short. I'm only like 5'10" for a guy. So, but anyways, notice how that foot pedal, and I'll even take a step further. I put mine at the top so I have a place to put my heel. So as that foot pedal is brought closer to you, you have to apply, the more it's tilted, the less effort, the less energy you have to apply to that foot pedal to get it to do the same thing. It's not an accident that car gas pedals are like this. It's not an accident that car brake pedals are like this. It's ergonomic, it's much more comfortable, but most importantly, it's much easier to use. That's what we're known for. Ergonomic and ease of use. That's what Martelli does. Lisa, give a testimony. You use this thing all the time, and when I first came out with this, Lisa wasn't as sure about the product, but once she got to use it, I've heard more about this product than I have probably anything else. Lisa, go ahead.
Riser, we sit and sew. We want to sew, and we want to spend so much time doing it. But after a while, like your knees get to hurting, your legs get to hurting. You're pushing. You're chasing your foot pedal because it just moves on you. But once I got the foot pedal riser, and I actually have the larger one because I'm short, so I want my leg to sit on the other side too. But this just made it so much easier to do the thing that we love for longer. The time just slips away. You don't even realize how long you've been sewing when you're using a foot pedal riser that brings it up to you. You're not spending so much time chasing your foot pedal or so much pressure on your knee or on your ankle by having to push. So it's just so much easier. It makes it I don't know, just ease in using it. And once you have it set, it stays in position for you. And again, it doesn't matter what surface that you have. Like in the studio, I think I got linoleum. At home, I have carpet. I have hardwood floors. It stays in position for me, and I can do more work longer. So, I mean, it's just one of those great tools to have. And I wish you would have came out with it sooner. I mean, it's just a great, great project.
Well,
I can't imagine not having this in the studio now.
Well, we really didn't know. Well, I kind of had a general idea because, like, I used to do trade shows like 10 years ago, and I did a lot of demoing on a product called the bias binder. And you know, I would leave those shows. My necks would be killing me, my shoulders, and my knees would really be
Knees.
killing me.
Yeah, yeah.
But this has done it absolutely. This is our #1 product on 2025, sold on Amazon. So that is saying something. And the reviews that we have on this thing have
It
been
is fantastic.
absolutely incredible. So this is one of those dynamic products that can be an absolute game changer. And this is, the last thing I'm going to share, and then I'm going to let you do this one, Lisa,
Okay,
since you're
fine.
here. The last one that I want to share is, you know what? I'm not the same height as you. My legs are not as long as yours. My legs might be a little bit longer than yours. So when you screw these legs in, they all move independently. You can make it flat if you want to. You can make more of a tilt if you want to. Everybody's different, and your level of ergonomics is going to be different. So it's very important to understand this foot pedal riser will accommodate you. And I know that sounds stupid, but hear me again. This foot pedal riser will accommodate you. So it doesn't matter how long your legs are, short legs are, your torso, your knees from your knee to it doesn't matter. It's going to accommodate you. So you're just going to get it home, put it on the floor, and you're just going to play with it, play with the adjustments on it until it accommodates you. And then you're going to finally see the small, slight pains that you're getting, and your lower half will start easing away because the product's doing all of the majority of the work for you. Lisa, get in here with these. This was Lisa's idea. Like, this was my idea. This one was Lisa's idea. And she hit a home run with this one. I mean, a home run with this one.
We started off with the seam presses. So one of the things that I found was when I was pressing projects, like whether I was pressing my seams open or as I was pressing them to the side, if I wasn't getting a good press on there or whatever, the seams would eventually come back up. You'd be fighting them as you're trying to sew, particularly if you're trying to nest those seams, that they might flip back up on you. So we came, knowing that the material reflects the heat back, so we came up with the block presses and the seam presses, and now all of our seams just lay flatter, longer, more crisp. And if you watch any of my video tutorials, you see me using this religiously. I am constantly using my block press, my seam presses. They make everything flatter, and even after I've walked away from it and I can come back, I didn't even bring the samples here.
I know,
I
that's
can
my fault.
show you things that I have pressed months ago, and they're still just as flat as if I had just done it, because what it's doing, it's reflecting that heat right back into, after you iron and then you set this down on your project, it's reflecting that heat, it's creating that memory in that fabric, and it just stays flat for so much longer. And so when I use it, it just gives every one of my projects a more professional look to it, because everything is nice and flat, and seams don't flip up on you. You're not fighting them so much. So we have them in multiple sizes. This is the 7x7. This was mainly designed for those who doing blocks are like 7 inches or small. We do a lot of small blocks, but I wanted the larger one, and it's about a little bit less than 5 pounds, but it's same thing. When I set this on my larger blocks, the same thing. It's just going to make it nice and flat. If I am finishing out my big quilt top, and at the very end, I can press a section, set this on there, move to the next section, set this on there, and it's going to continue to keep everything nice and flat.
How many layers? Because I know you talked about layers, and there was a certain material, I can't remember off the top of my head, that you said, Dave, this is incredible for such and such a material, and I never even thought about it. Do you remember what you
Which
told me?
one?
It was something maybe adhesive, or I don't know if it was adhesive.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so here's another. I found another great use for it. So if you're using fusible, particularly like the lightweight, midweight, or the the fusible glue that you put on here, particularly if you're doing a larger project and you have a big area that you have that fusible on here, like for applique work. One of the things that I always struggled with was sometimes I'd get little bubbles in that project because of the way the glue has a tendency to bubble. When I fuse the fusible on there and then I set this on top of that piece that I just fused, it's just going to it smooths it all out. So I'm not having any of those little bubbles or ripples that might happen when you're working with the fusible. Another thing I found that it works for is if you're doing a project that has a lot of seams that's coming in the center. Like if you're doing one that, like a windmill, one of those projects where you have a whole lot of seams that's going right there in the center. If you spritz it, sometimes it'll warp up on you. Spritz it with a little water, hit it with your iron, and then set this block on it. It's going to flatten it out. It's going to smooth it all. And you're not going to have all of those bumps when you have that happens, particularly when you're doing something that has a lot of seams in there. You're battling. It lays it all flat. It takes away out any of that warping that might happen. So I have found, I swear by these. I use them all the time. The block presses, the small one, the medium-sized one, the seam presses for just mainly the seams. These for if you're just, and I had him create the smaller sizes because a lot of times we have our little nest that we're working in. We don't want to have to always jump up to the large ironing station. So I can just quickly press the seam back and just lay the smaller block presses on there. So here's the smaller seam presses. We actually have this one. We actually have one that's half this size. So these are for my seams. I use these mainly for all the seaming. But when I'm doing my larger blocks and the block's finished, not only do I press it from the wrong side, but from the right side. And when I do my final pressing before we go to put it into the quilt, lay that on there, have it on there for just a few seconds. It's adding another step to your project, but that step is going to make a little difference when you go to put everything all together.
Also, I have been told by Lisa, multiple, you can stay here on this one, because just to make sure I'm saying this right, multiple layers can be done with this too?
Yeah, you see me stacking them up underneath. I'll get stack 8, 10, just stacking them up and then just start another stack. I have several of these. Because I'll get a good stack going, get another stack going.
So which was going to be my next point. So, and I don't know, and correct me if I'm wrong, but as I'm going, if I have one here, if I want to get a second one, I can just kind of just jump, like leapfrog?
Yeah, like I'll get maybe 10 blocks under this one. Okay, well, it's getting kind of full, so I'll go ahead and just start with the next one.
And keep it here.
Yeah, keep it here and just move on to the next one. So, the longer it sits there, the flatter it's going to keep it.
Yeah.
It's creating that memory in that fabric to keep it flatter longer.
I know this is going to sound crazy, but it's like water. Water actually has memory to it too, and so does fabric. And that's why, biblically speaking, the Bible talks about different fabrics that do different things for that reason. But anyways, with that being said, there's something else I want to add too. Do you remember I said at the very beginning, make sure you get a pen and make sure you get a notepad, because there are going to be some things that we don't typically discount. We can't because there's no room. And I said I'll hold that little red flag up when I get to those products. These are one of those products. If you find a seam press, a block press, I don't care what the size is. We don't typically give discounts on those because I don't have any wiggle room.
They take a lot of material to make these.
Yes, and time on the machine and all that. So if you see any discounts on these whatsoever, scoot them up. I think this one, I want to say it was a 30% discount, which I don't think I've ever done before. I don't want to say never because I don't know. I'm not 100% sure.
Over $100 for the big one.
Yeah, so I think I have this at like $99 on the website right now, which is insane because it used to be what, $240?
Yeah, well,
$230?
when we first came out with them,
Yeah, we found a way to get the price down a little bit.
Yeah, we got the price down.
I got a little bit
Change the material a little bit.
Yep, and I got a little bit thinner material, which what she means by changing material. We went from an inch to a 3/4 inch, and actually the 3/4 inch works a little bit better.
And it's a little bit lighter, but it does the exact same thing. So it didn't really change the
it doesn't change the application. It still works incredibly. But we found a way to get that price down for you. So these are block presses and seam press. Again, block press and seam press. You can find these on martellinotions.com. Block press and seam press. Just type it into the search bar. You can find those, and you'll see that some of these have discounts on them, especially the 13 by 13. So go scoop it up. If it's in your budget to buy two, buy two. This is why.
They're fantastic.
Boom, iron,
I have them.
press, iron, press. So you're just going to keep you're going to do one.
All the time.
Use them all the time.
You'll see them in all of my videos. Since we came out with them, I don't think there's a video that I don't do where I'm ironing that I'm not using these. I love them. They just make things better.
And you probably already mentioned this, Lisa. If I did, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but the level of professionalism that your projects look like when you're done using these is astonishing.
I mean, we already have our projects looking professional when you're using the Martelli templates because everything is perfect when you cut them and they go together like ease. but then to take the time and spend a little bit extra time on pressing it too, now it's going to go even better.
Yeah,
It
100%.
just stays a step above, another notch to it, and
100%.
everything looks better. Yeah.
100%. Lisa,
All
thank
right,
you so
you're
much.
welcome.
That was incredible. Thank you for that help. I know there's more validity in what you say than what I say because you actually use this stuff
All
more
the
than I do.
time. All the time.
So thank you so much for that. Okay, yes, ma'am.
You use the seam press with the presser cut mat or on your regular ironing board?
It doesn't matter. No matter what surface. Now if you
I have
use,
my cut and press mat if I'm sitting there at my low nest.
yeah,
But I also have a big table.
let me say it like this. It will work anywhere that you use it. It will work anywhere that you use it. And it will work way better than what you have. Now, with that being said, we actually make a pressing mat. If you go online, we have I think it's a 24 by 24 pressing mat that is made out of the brown material. So when you put the block press down with the no slip moisture barrier on top of the brown no slip material moisture barrier, it works better than anything in the world. But it works on any ironing surface. We have the best ironing surface, and with our block press and our ironing surface, there's nothing like it in the world. But if you're using our wool pad, it still works incredible. Way better than what you can ever imagine. So no matter what ironing surface or pressing surface that you're going to use it on, it's going to be better than you've ever seen or experienced as far as pressing seams or blocks than you've ever experienced in your entire life. So you're not going to go wrong no matter what surface. Okay, now with that being said, let's check this out. I brought this in 2 years ago. Well, no. I brought it in a year ago because everybody wanted a carrying case for our 17-inch roundabout. Sure, no problem. One of the downsides to that is the only thing that I could find big enough that I could use was a rolling case, but it's a travel case, it's luggage. And we have to import these because there's no place in America that makes luggage that I am aware of. So we import these from overseas, and so we get a good price on them, but by the time you pay import duties, it's what you buy them in stores. I can't compete. So I bought like 4,000 of them. I think I have like probably 300 left or 200 left. But this is a rolling case. And the reason why I'm telling you that, this is another product that I can't give discounts on, that I gave a discount on. We're just trying to get rid of these. These are the Martelli rolling cases. I will never carry them again, not because it's not an awesome product, because I've had everybody, their brother and their sister saying, I love the rolling case. It's not enough margins. I can't go in business breaking even. I'll never be able to stay in business that way. But this is the Martelli rolling case. If you look at the inside, it's zipper. It has 1, 2, 3, 4 compartments. Which camera am I on? Which camera am I on?
The camera's in it.
I'm on this camera over here?
Which camera is he on?
Oh, okay, thank you.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. I was just trying to figure it out because I didn't want to. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cases, right? Or 5 pockets. I can put my 3-piece roundabout. This will hold my 17, my 12, and my 10-inch roundabout. And my pressing tops, too. Do we have one here, Lisa? Can you go, just so I can show them in here? Yeah, but I want the cutting surface in the roundabout. There's one right behind the counter. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll do that.
So thank you. So you can actually put your roundabout in there, and then you can take this zipper right here, and then you can zip this up right here. Okay. And then you can put your templates, your cutter case that I showed you earlier. Remember the cutter case? Your notions tray, anything else that you want to put in here, and then you can lock this down. And you can make this as tight as you want, right? So it's just like your standard luggage, except you have a bunch of compartments. Here's what I love about it. How many times have you gone to retreat, not intentionally, but one of your products that you've paid a lot of money for has walked away? I love this because when you get this, it has a 3-digit code that will lock and unlock, so it will keep all your notions safe. And then if you're going through the airport, if you're traveling, this is another feature that I love. It has the wheels on it, so let me close this back up real quick. Actually, I'm just going to hold it together. It's got a handle so you can carry it like that. I didn't zip it all the way up, but it has a handle if you want to carry it, or if you want to roll it if you're going to a trade show. We do about 50 trade shows a year. People love to go shop. Do you have a bag? Do you have a bag? They always ask me, do you have a bag with the Martelli in it? Yeah. So this is even better in a bag because it's out there. It's advertising what you love, but you can also roll it. You can roll it where it's flat, or you can pull it where it's got on the 2 wheels. But this is the Martelli roundabout case. You can find it online. It's the what is it called? The rolling case. Rolling case. You're going to put rolling case online. It's called the rolling case. And I think I have this at $99. Thank you, Lisa.
The actual cutter or just the...
No, I wanted the whole thing, like the base and
I'm trying to find it.
There's one right behind the counter in a bag. I saw it, unless somebody picked it up.
Hold on.
It was a customer's. A customer already might have picked it up. So let me open this real quick. So I want to show everybody kind of how this fits in there. So can you give me that cutter case? That pink cutter case? Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much. So here's the cutter case, right? So if I want to put the cutter case in here, I can go ahead and put my cutter case in here, right here, just like this, like so. Open this up. Thank you, Lisa.
Large
So-
full sets.
Oh yeah, let's do that first. Let's put this in first. Okay, thank you. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this. We're going to take our roundabout. Notice it's got the ball bearing base, the cutting surface, and the pressing surface. We're going to put that in there just like so. We're going to take our 12-inch. This is the cutting. This is the ball bearing base, the cutting surface, and the pressing surface, and we're going to put that in there just like this, right? So now we can take our 17-inch ruler. We can lay that right on top right here. We can put our cutter in our case. We can put that right there. We can put our templates. We can put our cutter. We can put our blades. And then we still have the little compartments if we want to put our needles for our sewing machine. But really simply, just close up. Right here. And you're just going to close it up. So perfect for travel. It will do a lot of great things if you're on the road, especially if you don't want your products to walk away. But you can see this is our 17, our 12, and there's still plenty of room for the 10-inch. But that's our rolling case. You can find that on our website. And remember, too, the last thing I'm going to tell you is it locks. That's the cool feature. It's got the little feature right there where it locks, where if you don't want anything to be taken, or you could just put that in there and put your little 3-digit code, and you never have to worry about your stuff walking away again. Oh, that's perfect. And the next thing we're going to talk about is our steam iron. I'm not going to plug it in. An iron is an iron, but this also can go in your rolling bag too. Okay, so if you look at the top, that's where you're going to take your little thing that it comes with right here. Put your water in there. Put your water in the iron, and then you're just going to push this. Now, the reason why I love our steam iron is a few reasons. Look at the shape. It's got a knob on there, so it's really, really easy to handle, and it's really to get into those really tight spots. But you just push that button, and and it will throw all the steam out there and give you a nice, perfect flat. You will not find a better mini iron, a mini steam iron, than what we have. There's
bags. Get down
yeah,
to
bags. Yep. Bags too. Bags especially. That shape is a unique shape. Nobody has it. It allows you to angle to get in those places that you can't typically get in. And then also, it has the place where you're going to set the iron, right? So you're not just going to have a place where you just set it down and burn your material or whatever. This is going to allow you to put that perfectly and have a place to set that in. But this is our triangle iron. Our triangle iron. If you go to our website, just type in triangle iron. Okay, there's that one. All right, and the next one's going to be kind of really, really simple. This is our ruler rack, our template rack. You see the slots in there. This right here, we have a really good price on, and you can just put your rule. So if you're going to a class or a retreat and you want to use the Martelli templates like a lot of people do, you're just going to put that in your area. You can put your rulers or the templates that you're going to use, and it allows you to do multiple sizes. Like say you're doing a quilt that's got a 5-inch block. I know this is going to sound stupid, but like a 4-inch hexie or a 3-inch diamond. You can put everything that you're going to use in this ruler rack, and it just allows you to carry it from point A to point B, and it has the no slip material on there. Especially if you're a huge Martelli fan and you love the Martelli templates, this is going to hold rulers and templates for you and keep them nice and organized. Next, can you give me the one that you just had in your hand? That's the one I really want to show. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. All right.
Can iron be used without steam?
Yes, yes, you can use the iron without steam. Yes, you can use the iron without steam. I don't ever use it without steam, but you can, absolutely,
I don't
100%.
use anything with steam.
You don't? I use steam
I've
for
always
everything.
felt like they shorten the life of an iron, but I just use
Lisa would know way more than Dave would know. So she says she never uses steam. So there you go.
I use my mister.
Yeah, I would go with what Lisa says and not what Dave says. Okay, so this is remember I said I'm gonna when I get to that product I'm gonna wave my little red flag because we never give discounts.
Like a piece of red fabric right there.
Yeah. Give me that red fabric, will you?
Little piece of red fabric.
This is the main one I'm talking about right here. Woo! Right here. Look. This next product. I never give discounts, number one, because there's no margins whatsoever. And not only is there no margins, on top of it, I give you a $60 mat that's included. This is our tabletop workstation. Remember we talked about classes, retreats, and being able to carry everything and putting it in your car and then being able to use it. Can you imagine putting this on a little plastic table and trying to cut on that? The thing will slide. It becomes very dangerous. It's just a nightmare. You got to hold one hand with your ruler, one hand on your mat, and one hand on the table. So you really need like 3 hands, right? So if you look at our tabletop workstation, the first thing you're going to notice, it has a handle. So I can carry this with me. That's why we did that. And then if you look at the top, it's machined out. That machined out part is to place the cutting mat on the inside where the cutting mat cannot move. Just like our regular workstations, see how it's perfectly flat from one side to another? Why is that important? Now it's going to allow you to use rulers and templates. You can use a ruler and a template with just a little sliding mat next to your sewing machine, but how does that work out for you realistically? It doesn't. It's just everything moves on you. So the important part of the tabletop workstation is if you look at the back, it has the no-slip material. It will not allow you to move. So now I'm going to put my tabletop workstation flat next to me. I'm going to put my cutting mat where it's even and perfectly flat on the inner portion. So it's basically a tabletop on a tabletop that never moves, that allows you to use rulers and templates and all that neat stuff next to you that you traditionally could not use. Well, you can, but it would be way less difficult. And remember I told you hey, pay attention. I never have discounts. I have these on sale for $100. I think they're typically what's the sale price on these? $170 or something? $160? I don't know what the prices are, but it's a lot, and I discount it. This is the time to get the tabletop workstation. Just the shipping on the mat alone.
$225.
What is it?
$225.
Yeah, that's what I thought. The mat alone is $70. So this whole setup is $225. We're doing it for $90. I think it's $99.
Yep.
$99. Just the mat alone. Just this mat alone is $75, folks. Just the mat. So you're paying $20 for a $200 product. Let that sink in. That will never be done again. Actually, I can't believe I did that now I'm thinking about it. But it is done, and thank you, Dave. Okay. These are brand new. I don't want to go into the store. You know what? I'll go into a little bit of story. I was sitting next to a guy on a plane, and he's like, I guess nationality is irrelevant. But he's like, well, what do you do? And we got to talking. I told him what I did. And I'm like, we're known for innovation and revolution. This guy I just happened to sit next to on a plane had a manufacturer overseas. I'm not going to tell you where it is. And he said, we make the best and most precision tools for the medical industry. If you've ever had surgery in this country, you got cut on by the same guy that makes my products. He's huge in this world. He's like, I can't do his accent, but I've never been into sewing and quilting. I was like, well, now you are, and you're not selling to anybody else. He goes, deal. He goes, I really don't need the sewing and quilting, but he goes, I like you. I'm going to help you out. So I have an exclusive agreement with him. Now, before I get into there, I'm going to show you these. Do we get a close-up right here? The reason why you will never, ever, ever find tools like this, I don't care where you get them from. If you're buying something for sewing quilting, they're not this good. They're not even close to this good. And it's not just because Dave says so. I'm going to get into that in a second because I've already covered this on the last virtual. Now, before I go any further, anybody that bought this set from me last time, I want you to go in the comment section. I want you to tell everybody how good these tools are, okay? Now, we're going to go over each pieces. I want to say there's 10 if I remember. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 10 pieces in here. I'm going to pull each one out and get a close-up of these. And I'm going to show you this. So the hemostats are incredible, these things right here. The precision that these are done with and the ability of the blades and how well they cut. Now, I'm going to get into the reason why. I'm going to have to put all these back in, which stinks. But even the duckbill, that's Lisa's made me get those. She said it's great for, what is it, embroidery?
For trimming away the fusible fleece and foam away from the fabric to reduce bulk.
So hopefully you heard her. Check out on these little clippers. See the little hook at the end where you can grab the thread? We designed these specifically for sewing and quilting. But look at these. Look at the points on. Look at the points. Look at the points. Hopefully you can get a close-up of that. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, Dave, what gives you the credentials? I'm talking to myself here. What gives you the credentials to tell me that you have the best tools on the market? You ready for this? So one of the things about Ginger, I don't like using people's name, but one of the things about Ginger is they're going to tell you, like, man, we use, what was it called? We use tungsten steel. Man, tungsten steel is incredible. I mean, we use tungsten steel of a lot of our stuff. Okay, so ready? I'm about to give you a trade secret, and nobody else will do this. Even if I tell you, nobody else is going to do this. And the reason why nobody else is going to do it is because they're not going to be able to afford it. This guy gave me a price. Remember I told you at the very beginning, this guy is in the medical business. So let me ask you a question, because I want you to be on the same page with me, okay? If I go to the medical industry, that's a medical tool. We can all see that right there, right? If I go to the medical industry, how much is it going to be for this scissor right here? Now, my next question to you is, if I go to the quilting industry, is the quilting industry going to pay the same thing as a hospital pays for this? Yes or no? What do you think?
Yes.
They'll never do it. The reason why they won't do it, and you're fine. The reason why they won't do that is because the medical industry has insurance and everything is a lot more expensive, right? So when I spoke to this gentleman, he offered me the same prices as wholesale as the medical industry, with never going up on the rates unless it goes up in the medical industry. Now, you ready for this? This is what I'm going to get at. It's high-speed steel. What separates high-speed steel from tungsten steel? Tungsten steel is great. Okay, ready? And I want you to follow me, because if you understand this, this is a game changer for you. So high-speed steel enables the product to be sharpened at a much higher rate on a sharpening stone because it can take more heat. Let me say that again, because I want this to make sense to you. Tungsten steel is great. What separates high-speed steel from tungsten steel? High-speed steel blades are much better because they can be sharpened at a much higher rate of speed on the sharpening stone, which means it can take a lot more heat. So the heat damage that is caused to tungsten steel is much lower temperatures than I can get on high-speed steel. So if you want to know what authorizes and what qualifies Dave Martelli to say we have the best cutting tools on the market for sewing and quilting, and nobody else can ever have these tools, is because nobody has access to what I have at the prices that I have access to them at. I have high-speed steel for sewing and quilting cutting tools, tweezers, sutures, you name it. Matter of fact, I'm working with a young lady. We do some other stuff in the medical. I don't want to get into that here. Putting our stuff in the medical industry with fake skin. But this is high-speed steel. Martelli Enterprises is the only ones in the sewing quilting world that has these tools in high-speed steel. We are the only ones. So go online. This is, and I have several kits over there. Any of our scissors that you see, and look how beautiful. I want a close-up. Just look how beautiful those are. Look at how beautiful the high-speed steel is. And you can tell me if you should get a good look at that. Let me just look.
It is so pretty.
Look how beautiful these are. And I'm sure, Lisa, you probably have a set up there now that you'd use nothing but. Are they not incredible?
They're just so pretty to look at.
Yeah, I'll say ging or who, and I never use anybody's name. These things are just incredible. Question.
Are these 40% off?
I don't know, what are they on the website?
So on the website it says scissor bundle.
Okay.
It says it includes fabric. Is that?
No, that was for our fabric line. Yeah, it does not include fabric. Yeah. That should have been changed a long time ago. What is the price at?
It says 160 and then it's discounted to 96.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Let's do that.
But just like make sure they know.
No fabric. No fabric. These things, like in the medical industry, if I was to buy these 10 tools separate in the medical industry, you're looking at probably anywhere from $20 to $35 per tool. Not the bigger ones, but you're looking at probably closer to $300 to $400 for this set of tools. I'm getting it for the same price the medical industry is getting it. Actually, it's a little bit cheaper. They don't know that, but yeah, it's a little bit cheaper. But what it's doing for this guy, it's bringing his tools to a whole nother market that he have never had access to. And the reason why he's doing it for me, because I want things to make sense to you, is because he knows that Martelli, he researched me before he offered this stuff to me. He knows that Martelli is the leader in innovation in sewing and quilting and cutting tools. That's what we do. Look at the Martelli rotary cutter. And so it was just a perfect match made in heaven. For me to sit next to this guy on a plane was absolutely insanity. Don't ask me how it worked out, but it did. So these tools, the scissor kit, it's called, what is it called online?
It's called the 10-piece scissor kit.
10-piece scissor kit on the Martelli Notions, and it's $100. I don't know how many I have left. I got to put another order in. Matter of fact, he just reached out to me the other day. Hey, Mr. Martelli. So we definitely need to put another order in. Really super nice guy. He even made me a nice leather jacket, and probably gives you country origin away. Nice leather jacket and a really nice leather bag. I was super pumped about it, but the guy's really, really nice. And you're missing out if you don't have these. Okay, question.
Are they left-handed?
Yeah, so we...
Dakota tried it. She's left-handed. She said she could cut with them, but I think the board here toward right, but the left.
Yeah, but we do have... In this kit, we do have a left-handed scissors from this company, but it's not in this kit. This kit only comes with the right-handed one. But Here, let me do this. I'm not left-handed. I don't want to speak on something I don't know. You know, for me to tell you. But let's try this real quick. I can't do anything left. I used to play basketball pretty good left-handed. So we're going to take these down. I can't do anything left-handed.
Dakota was able to use them, and she's left-handed.
Yeah, I'm going to say yeah. I mean, I just did it, and I can't do anything left-handed. I can't feed myself, nothing left. I used to play basketball, and I could do it. Not anymore. Okay, other questions?
Ergo cutter case, can it hold 60 and 45
Yes.
at the same time?
Ergo cutter case can hold both cutters at the same time. You're just going to crisscross them. Great question.
That's it.
Okay. All right, let's put these back. I'm going to let you put all these back. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't get the scissor kit, you're missing out. And if you don't get it soon, because I don't have many in stock, you're going to have to wait until we get them back in stock. So, awesome scissor kit. You won't be disappointed. Okay, this next one, I'm going to have to step away just for a second. Actually, you know what? I'm not even going to get a machine. Okay.
I have to go.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your help, Lisa. All right. This is our ergonomic machine tilt. You remember we talked about the foot pedal riser and how you could adjust it? Our machine tilt, ergonomic machine tilt is the same thing. You have two legs, it's adjustable. You have 1, 2, 3 supports on the large one, and you have 2 supports on the small one. And you're going to look right here. This is my machine pad. It's got the no slip on both sides and the ABS plastic in the middle. So you're going to put your sewing machine up here with the large one now. The large one will accommodate your sewing machine and your extension table. So what that does, and you're going to be able to get a better bird's eye view of this when we do the last segment, but when you take the table and you take your sewing machine and you tilt it, watch my posture. So I'm diving into my fabric right now. Sewing machine like this, watch my posture. My posture fixes itself. So we have an ergonomic machine tilt, large and small. The difference between the large and the small is the large will accommodate your sewing machine and the extension table that comes with your sewing machine. Taking it now. This is what I tell people. I can sell these without even demoing it. I don't even need to put a sewing machine. You know how I sell these like this? This is our number 2 selling product on Amazon. Real simple. Ready? Everybody follow me. Take your chin and touch it to your chest and count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. You get the point. After 10, I want you to do me a favor. Tell me the first place that you feel it. It's going to be right here. Okay? Now, when you sew and you quilt, do you quilt longer than 10 seconds? Yes or no? So if you can feel it in 10 seconds, what is those hours doing to your neck? I see a lot of people at trade shows walking around like this with their back hunched over. It's improper posture for years and years and years of doing the same thing repetitively. What is the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting different results. You wonder why you hurt. So when you take your machine and you put it on your ergonomic machine tilt and you tilt your machine here, watch, one more time. This is what I do when I sew. I'm looking down. Now watch. Machine tilt, head up. It's that simple. The small one is great for classes, retreats, sewing with a friend, and the large one you're going to keep at your house. It's for your larger machines and your extension tables that go with them. I don't even need to put my sewing machine on here to show you. I don't need to. That little demonstration that I did sells a ton of these things. A ton of these things. Ergonomic machine tilt. We have these on special. I think these are like 30, 40% off too, huh? What's the price on these? Ergonomic machine tilt small. Ergonomic machine tilt large.
Small is 90, large is 150.
90 and 150. 90 for the small, 150 for the large. This is going to be the last product that I show you for the products, and then we're going to get into our tables. And before our tables, we're going to need about a 5-minute break so we can set everything up. Okay? Now, all right, I have a lot of silver ones left, and I think I have a price of, oops, I think I just bumped your camera. Sorry there. This is our Martelli ergonomic chair, okay? This has several increments of movement. So you're going to see 2 levers up here, right? First lever, I'm going to lift that lever up, and if you're vertically challenged, it will lift you higher, or if you're taller, you can put it down lower. So I'm going to put it down lower just like that, and lock. Now, my next one, I'm going to lift up. Listen to it click, listen. That when I lift this up right here, now I can take the back support, because a lot of the problems that people have with chairs, they don't get that lower lumbar support that they need, and the lower lumbar never comes in far enough to the chair. So look at that. So actually, I'm gonna do it like this.
I'm gonna do it just like this. Can you put the camera down on me? So now you're gonna see this chair right here. Now, do you see how far that comes in? For me, I need it back a little bit. So I'm gonna push my fanny back a little bit. I'm gonna put that where it's comfortable for me. Once I have it where it's comfortable, I'm gonna take this lever right here, watch. When I push that down, that locks. So it puts it exactly where I want. So this other level that I showed you about, look how high. Now, of course, I'm like 5'10", but if I try to put my feet flat on the floor, I can't touch. So I'm gonna bring this down to where I can touch. Now, last thing, and this is probably the most important thing on this chair. There's two things that I need to show you that has to do with the same thing. Some people have L4-5, some people 5S1. The further up you go, the more the lumbar support needs to be supported up. So you're gonna take this right here, this is a knob, and I'm gonna loosen that knob. That allows me to raise and lower my lumbar support wherever it needs to go. If you have a Martelli chair out there and you're watching this, can you tell everybody please what you think about the chair? And don't tell it's good for me, like I don't want you to say, well, I'm just gonna say it's good because Dave's asking me to say it's good. I want your legitimate thoughts. This is probably our third best-selling product that we've ever had here at Martelli's, and we've had it for about 5 years. It's incredible. And the cost that you're paying for the chair is way cheaper than you get the other ones. I'm not gonna mention names out there, but we have no competition when it comes to these chairs whatsoever. Now, remember I said there's two portions? So mine's lower lumbar, so I'm gonna put mine all the way in the down position, and then I'm gonna just tighten that up right here. Here's the secret, and I probably shouldn't tell you all this, but I'm going anyways. I want everybody to watch this back portion right here. Not only is it curved to fit a perfectly lumbar, but watch this. Do you see that little bit of movement right there? That allows it to suction to your back, giving you the exact support in the exact location that you need. Now I think we have silver ones online for like can you look up the silver price right now? We have 4 different colors online, but I think we have a really good deal on the it might be 270, 260, something like that.
Yeah, 269.
$269 for these chairs right now. They're $450. These chairs are $450. I have them for $269 right now. So you're going to go to the website and you're going to type in Ergo Martelli or just Ergo chair. It's an Ergo chair, right? Mm-hmm. Ergo chair in the search bar. You're going to push search, and that's what you're going to get. Okay, we're going to take a 5-minute break. We're going to take a 5-minute break, and then we are going to get. I need to set up for the tables. Our tables. This is going to be our last segment. What time is it?
12:01.
101. 12:01? Yeah, 12:01 is last segment. You're right. I'm sorry. I'm thinking Orlando time. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to take like a 5. That's perfect timing. That's great. We're going to take like a 5-minute break. I'm going to get our table set up. Now, before we do this, I want to mention this to everybody, okay? Get the pen, get the piece of paper. When we do these tables, I'm going to have several deals for you. I don't want it to be complicated. I don't want it to be confusing. I'm going to do 1 3-table deal. I'll be very specific with that table deal. I'm going to do 2 different 2-table deals, and I'm going to do 2 different 1-table deals, or maybe 3, whatever. But my point is, I want you to write down because I'm going to tell you this is my 3-table deal. Now here's the kicker, okay? To get these table deals, it's going to go all weekend. I will, listen to me very carefully, please. I will get back to you in the order in which I receive my text. There's a lot of people that bought last virtual trade show that I didn't get to them for 2 days. It took me time because this is what I want to share with people. I don't care if you're the first person that calls me that wants prices or the last person that calls me. I want to show everybody the same amount of attentiveness and attention to detail to not only their tables, but the products that they're going to receive with their tables when they get them. So I like to be very thorough. So sometimes when I'm trying to, when somebody's making a purchase for a sewing room, they want to have all their questions answered. Sometimes when you're putting out that kind of money, you want to make sure that what you're getting, how you're getting it, how it's going to be shipped, when it's going to be shipped. So all this stuff is very, very important. So when I do these table deals, I want everybody to understand that I'm going to give you the same attention as I'm going to give the last person. So my whole point is I will return your calls. I promise you. I'm going to honor the prices until I get back with everybody. I will return. I'm going to give everybody my number, and they're going to text me. And I'm going to get back with you in the order in which I receive those texts. So if you don't hear from me, tonight, it's not the end of the world, I promise you. I have not forgotten you. If you don't hear from me tomorrow, which you probably will not, because I have a family trip, you will probably hear from me either Saturday or Monday. But it doesn't matter, because I'm gonna honor the prices until I am done. The table sales, yes, the online sale goes through Monday, but when I'm dealing with tables, I give it a little bit longer because there's so much that's involved with it, and there's so much that I have to do, dealing with invoices and such. So just know, get a pen, get a piece of paper, write these deals down, and then you're gonna take my number down, and if you have questions, and if you wanna purchase, you're gonna go through me. It's really, really simple, it's not complicated. Go ahead and we're gonna take a 5-minute break. While we take that break, Olivia, please put my cell phone number on the screen. Everybody, write this down on your pen and with your pen on your piece of paper. Write my number down, so as we do these table demonstrations, these questions will be, I'll be able to answer these questions. Okay, 5-minute break. Just push mute, please. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for staying tuned with us and staying excited about our products that we got moving forward. I think the best way to do this is I'm going to show each individual table and what it does. There's a few that I'm going to show together, and I'm going to do my best ones first, which is my sensational. Now, our cutting tables, we have 3 sizes, okay? We have our Sensational Advantage, our Sensational Premier, and our Sensational Elite. And now, if you're looking at me right now, you're going to notice that the whole tabletop is tilted towards you, right? So a couple things that we're going to talk about is the ability to cut ergonomically. Remember, we're ergonomic specialists, right? So if there's anybody on here, this helps me tremendously. If there's anybody on here that actually has these tables, please let everybody know, because we've done these sales a few times in our virtual trade shows, and we've had a lot of people purchase through our virtual trade shows. And I want everybody to know how great these products are. Obviously, if you don't think they're great, don't say that they're great. If you don't like them, say you don't like them. But I find that hard to believe that will happen, because we have pages and pages and pages of testimonies of people that actually love this stuff so much. So let's talk about cutting the first things first. Now, I'm doing this upside down and backwards because I'm showing you at home how this stuff works, right? So this is our Sensational Advantage. So a lot of times, I want you to picture yourself at home when you're cutting. You take the rule, it slides all over the place. You put it right here in the middle of your body. You do this or you do this right here. Then you take the rotary cutter and you try to cut, and you always veer off. I'm going to show you how our stuff is a lot different than what everybody else has, right? So we're going to take this. Let's start off with a 9.5, because I'm also going to show you how to cut curves, right? So let's actually get a little bit bigger of a piece, because I also want to cut curves, and I need a big enough piece to do that. So let's start off with the 9-inch. All right, so we're going to take this right here, just a little bit longer, cut that right there, move this right here. All right, so we just like I talked about, our templates and our rulers. What you have to deal with is typically yours does this right here. So watch what happens when I put our templates down. When I put our template down and I move it, see how it never loses its cut line, and that no-slip material will grab that fabric? So what you have to do is measure cut, move the ruler, measure cut. We don't have to do that. We make 4 cuts, and it's identical every single time, and every single layer is perfectly straight from top to bottom, okay? So there's my 9.5-inch block. We know our seam allowance is a 1/4 inch, so 1/4 plus 1/4 equals half. So all our measurements are done for us. Can everybody see that? All our measurements are done for this. We have every size block, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way up to 14. Now, when I do these table bundles, you're going to get a lot of these products for free. So now let's talk about the storage that's underneath. I know we could touch on that at the end, but it holds all my rulers and all my templates. Get a quick shot of this just so everybody can see this. I want you to look down here. So we have bins. Like, I don't know about you, but I'm kind of a neat freak. When I'm done using my area, I want it clean and spotless. So if I have my cutter or my notions tray and all that good stuff, I can just put it down here in my tray. Notice the tracks right there, so it slides back and forth. And if I want all my templates and all my rulers organized, I can just also put that at the bottom. And this is where they go. It's right there. So all my stuff is neat and stored easily and nice. So when I'm done, I can put everything back where it goes, and my tabletop is perfectly clean. So let's talk about our ruler. For example, let's say you want to cut bias for whatever reason. What you typically have to do when you cut bias is you lay your material down, you put your ruler that slides all over the place on top of your material, you have to square your body up to that ruler, you have to get on your tippy toes, and hopefully you don't veer off. Watch how easy this is. I'm going to cut a 1-inch strip using my products, and I'm never even going to hold my ruler. So I know for a fact that from here to here is 1 inch. The reason why is that ruler tells me. So I'm going to come right here on the 45. I'm going to square up my material just like so. Right on that line right there. So I have my point on this 45, and I have my point on that 45, and I'm going to lay my ruler down. Line to line right there, and then I'm going to come drop this down just like so. Line on line and line on line. So what you have to do is typically square your body up. Watch how incredible this is. I'm simply going to move my ruler. When I move my ruler, I'm going to square it up to my body. Watch the fabric. You see how the fabric moves with it? So now I'm going to cut a bias cut, and I'm not ever even going to hold my ruler. So I'm going to take this in my hand, and I'm going to cut right there. Notice I'm at a 45-degree angle. I'm not even holding my ruler. Watch. Watch. Cut number 2. Where else in the world can you get now? You know when you lift your ruler, how that fabric moves on you? Watch this. I pinch right here, and then I lift right here. Get a close-up of that. Can you even tell that's cut? I want a super close-up of that, because people can't believe this when I show them. Remember what I told you from the very beginning. Our tools work for you. So you get a close-up of that. You can't even tell it's cut. Now, you ready for this? Did you get a nice close-up of that? Watch this. See the fabric stretching right there? Now you're making perfect. Can you imagine making a perfect 1-inch bias cut and never even have to hold your ruler? Tell me anybody in the world that can do that. Nobody can, because the measurements are done in and our products never slip. So when I hold my ruler down, even if I want it to move, it will never move. And if it does move, the fabric stays with it. So that's intentional. Everything is designed very, very intentionally. Now, we also talked about being able to cut on a radius, right? So if I ask people all the time, I'm like, hey, do you cut on the radius or do you cut circles? And everybody's like, no, because every time I do, I destroy my mat, I destroy my ruler, and I destroy my blade inside my cutter. I'm going to show you how to cut a perfect circle by cutting a straight line. Yes, it's an oxymoron, but the way that we do things around here, we're able to do that. So you already saw I cut my 9.5-inch block, right? So I'm going to take that block and I'm going to fold this into 4s. And it doesn't even have to be a perfect fold, just close. So fold and fold. Did everybody get that? Everybody see that perfect fold? So now I'm going to come take a circle. This is 9.5. I'm going to take my circle that's smaller than 9.5 because I already know that this is square because I used a template that never slipped and never slide. So now I'm going to take my 8.5 and I'm going to put my point on my point. I'm going to line my edges up just like that. And I'm going to line my edges up just like this, right? Upside down and backwards, I'm going to show you how to cut a perfect circle. So whether you're doing reverse applique. Now, remember I showed you, I'm going to show you how to cut a perfect circle by cutting a straight line. Watch my finger right here. It's going to stay perfectly straight. Watch. See how my blades stay perfectly straight? Now watch this. Whether I'm doing reverse applique, can we get a close-up of that? Or whether I'm doing my circle, it's perfect. It's perfect every single time. It's always a perfect circle because my tools are doing the work for me. Notice my mat. I don't have any lines on my mat. My mat didn't get tore up. My blade is still sharp as get out. Watch. I'm not even holding this right. Okay? Look, not even holding this right. Watch. That's the same blade that I just cut my circle with. It's the design of the tool that allows you to do this the way that it does this, okay? Now, this is my sensational advantage. So let me just go over a few features on the table, which is very important. Number one, this table has 4 commands. Let me make sure I have the remote. This table has 4 commands, okay? The whole tabletop, by a push of a button, will go up and down, okay? So watch the table. The entire table is lowering. It can go all the way down to the very bottom where you can use this sitting very easily, okay? So it goes all the way up and all the way down. It has 14 inches of lift. You will be able to put this at any height that you want at the top, and it will never max out for you. And what I mean by that is this will go higher than you need it to go. This will go much higher than you need it to go. 14 inches of lift is a lot. But we put that, so no matter if you're 7 foot, you're going to be able to use the table, okay? We also have 2 actuators. Notice I have this backwards, so when I work, I'm working like this. Remember when we talked about the sewing machine and you take the sewing machine and you tilt it and it straightens your posture up? It's the same thing with cutting. When I'm cutting like this, I get a much longer reach right here. Can everybody see that? So I can reach all the way across my table. Now you're going to say, okay, so remember I said 4 commands. The whole table goes up and down. The front goes up and down, and each side has independent suspension. So if I wanted to, I can now put my table flat. I don't do anything by accident. The reason why we have so many actuators on this table that does so many things, think about this. If you're squaring up a king-size quilt, right, a huge quilt, even a lap quilt, what you have to do is put it on your cutting table and then the quilt gets in the way. But what if you take an accordion fold, because the larger the quilt, the more of a reach that you need, right? So check this out. I'm going to take this side now, this side, and I'm going to put this side all the way down. And I want you really to understand the value, how much value this table has, especially when you're squaring up your quilts, because that's one of the most difficult things to do. Now, every single angle, every single person in the world is custom. So your angle is going to be custom, okay? So now I'm going to put this side up, and I'm going to do what's good for me, which is probably about right there. Once I have this where I want it, okay, I'm going to take this, and I'm going to put it all the way up. Hold on, let me get just like that. I'm going to put my quilt on here, and I'm going to do an accordion fold. I'm going to fold it back and forth, and then I'm going to leave a little tail right here, okay? A little tiny tail. So now that I have the perfect angle for me, which is right about hip high, now I can cut. I can pull my quilt towards me. I can cut. I can turn my quilt, and I can do it again. I do all 4 sides. But putting that big tilt on here, what that allows me to do is it allows me to get a much longer cut. The more of a tilt that I have, the more of a cut that I can do. So that's very, very important. So now we're going to take this, and the only thing I want to do is I want to change sides on this right now. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to do it like this, and I'm going to lower this side right here, and at the same time, I'm going to raise the other side. So we're going to put this down. Now, the reason why I'm doing that is, let's just say all of you out there, you don't have a lot of room. Remember we talked about the ergonomic machine tilt earlier. Remember we talked about that? In other words, if I'm sewing like this, I take my machine, I do like that, it straightens my posture up. I can put my machine pad on this side of the table, like so. I can take my chair, and grab my chair right here. Now I can take my chair, and because I have so much room right here, I can put my needle right here, my sewing machine is right here, I slightly turn my body, I line my shoulder up with that needle, now I have an ergonomic machine tilt. So why is this so important? Why is this sensational? Whether it's the Elite, whether it's the Advantage, or whether it's the Premier. One table does everything. I can do my pressing. So if I'm pressing, I stand in front of my table. Okay, so let's talk about pressing real quick. So I can do my sewing, I can do my cutting, both end to end, in front and on the side if I'm squaring up my quilt. Now if I'm pressing, right? So let's talk about pressing. Let me straighten this up just real quickly so everybody can see this. So when you're pressing, this is what you do. I'm going to kind of do it like this way, show you this way. So when you're pressing, I don't care if it's on your ironing board, I don't care if it's clothes, I don't care if it's a quilt. This is what you do. And I'm kind of going through this thing quickly just because I have so many tables that I need to go through. But listen, when you're pressing, this is, I got an iron right here. So when you're pressing, this is what you do. Same thing as with your sewing machine. Your head is down, and this is what you're doing. Look at my posture, right? So now we're going to take this, and we're going to take that front, and we're going to tilt it. Thank you. Thank you. Can everybody hear me better? Huh?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. We're in a hollow room, so it echoes. But anyways, let me put this back up to where it is. So now we're going to take this, and I'm going to put it towards me. Same thing that we talked about earlier. Posture, 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 posture is everything. So now, you see how I have the tilt? So now I'm going from this right here. I'm going to kind of show you. Look at my posture from the back side. Now I have it tilted like this. So now look, my posture's up, and I'm going back and forth. So even if I'm doing, I kind of got to face the camera. So now I'm going from this right here to this right here. So if I'm pressing, I do it from the front. If I'm cutting all my shapes, my sizes, or if I'm cutting out a pattern, I cut that from the front and I tilt it. It takes all the pressure off the neck, back, and shoulders. So I go from this right here to this right here. So there's no more aches, there's no more pains. If y'all can just wait to call me, wait till I get to the end to call me, because this is only one table and I've got a lot more tables to go through. Let me push up this. And I do appreciate y'all. And I do appreciate y'all's interest, but let me try to get to the end, and I promise I'll get back to you in the order in which I receive it. Okay, so whether you're cutting your shapes and your size, you can do it from the front. If you're pressing, you're going to put your board on here, and you're going to press from the front. If you're cutting your quilt, squaring up your quilt, you're going to do it from this end. If you're sewing, so what am I saying? Dave, are you telling me that one table will do everything? That's exactly what I'm telling you. One table will do everything. Now, some of you have the luxury of having a spare bedroom in your home that the significant other has given you full reign of. What do I mean by that? You have a 10-foot by 12-foot spare bedroom, and I can sew in there, I can quilt, I can do it all. My hubby or my wife let me do this, and this is what we have. Okay, so this is the sensational advantage. You have the Elite, which is a bigger size. You have the Advantage. This is 28 by 55. 28 by 55. You have the Elite, which is 35 by 72. So this is the cut. Let me push mute on my phone. I promise I'll get to y'all. I promise. Okay. Hold on. Let me push mute on my phone because this is going to keep blowing up. Okay. All right, so we're going to take this and we're going to move this side, and the next one that we are going to go to is our stellar sewing table, our stelling sewer table. Now, let me say this. I could be here all day showing you different features and benefits on our cutting table. I'm just showing you the very minimal basics. What I'm showing you is a game changer.
especially for the ergonomics, just like my foot pedal riser, just like everything I show you. Now, when I get to the end and I go over these table deals that I'm going to give to you, I'm going to do, remember, I'm going to do a 3-table deal, I'm going to do two table deals and 1 table deal. And so every single person, I'm going to find out what you need, the room that you have, and what will best suit you. So when we get to the end and you start calling, I will get back with you. When I get back with you, I will share with you what will probably be best for you and let you make an informed decision. So let's move this one out of the way. Let me unplug this one right here. Let me unplug this one right here. And Albert's going to kill me because that came undone. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Let me do this real quick. Can we move this out of the way? Let me do this real quick. I didn't know that fabric grabbed it. Okay. Okay, perfect. All right, let's move this one out of the way. Let me unplug it. Okay, the next one we're going to talk about, actually we can move this one over here because I'm going to show everybody how you can use these 2 tables together. Okay, as a matter of fact, I might do that right off the bat. All right, yeah, move that one over. Okay, I'm going to use this as though it's in my studio, so you're going to be looking from behind me. So let me move this over here. Okay, this is our Stellar work table. Yes, your first question I'm going to answer right off the bat. Does my sewing machine fit the Stellar? The answer is yes, it does. There is not a machine out there that it does not fit, okay? So the first thing that I'm going to share with you, do you remember when we talked about the ergonomic machine tilt? You sew and I said, hey, touch your chin to your chest. And I said, I don't even need to put a machine on there, right? You do that and I said, count to 10. And I said, where's the first place you feel it? Well, right back here. So what we have here is this is a, let me put this right here. This is a Janome M8. This is a large machine. And you're going to notice that we have a plexiglass. Now, I left the white on the plexiglass so you could see it better, but this is a clear plexiglass. So here's the thing. The Mashoa machine, notice how it's flush. We are the only ones in the world, bar none. There is not another manufacturer, excuse me, in the world that can take their tabletop from their sewing machine and tilt it towards their face. So I'm going to do this real quick. I'm going to put this all the way in the up position. Now, another thing that you're going to notice, we have a cutting mat in our sewing table right here that's flush. So if you need to square something up, you can sew right here and then you can turn around and square up. Let's say you want to check your seams. Check this out. We even have a ruler in our sewing table that is set in place where you can check your seams. So when I'm done, I want to make sure my 1/4 inch is right. I can just put it down here and check it to make sure that's right. But look at the tilt. You're going to say, well, Dave, what's the proper tilt for me? I don't know. The fantastic thing about this is your body is custom and so is mine. I know what works for me. When you buy your Stellar table, when you get your Stellar table home, you're going to put your machine in there. And once you put your machine in there, you're going to order your plexiglass table. I'll get to that at the very end. But you're going to play with it. You're going to do a couple projects. You might not need to be as high as I need to be when it comes to putting the sewing machine in relation to your neck. I need mine high. If my posture's not like this, at the end of the day, I'm hurting. I used to do trade shows, 4-day trade shows, 10 hours a day, 40 hours in 4 days of nothing but sewing, ripping it off, sewing, ripping it off. Have you ever tried to do 40 hours in 40 days or 4 days? Have you ever tried that before? It's not fun and it's painful. I didn't have this back when I sewed. Yes, ma'am. Yes, I'll do that right now. So let's go over the buttons real quick. So number one, the whole table will move up and down, okay? Okay, let's start with that first. So I'm going to put the table up, and I'm going to put this at the highest point, and I'm going to show you the buttons. The reason why I'm going to put this at the highest point is because I want you to see that height is not a problem. The height, when we designed this, we have exceeded the height that you will ever need, and I'm about to show you that, okay? Because I'm 5'10", and I'm going to put this all the way in the up position. The reason why it's a little bit noisy is because we're in a hollow room and there's nothing in here other than these tables. So, and the engineering behind this is absolutely, remember I just told you a minute ago, we're the only ones in the world that can tilt? The engineering to develop this was so stinking difficult. There's no wonder why nobody else in the world can do this. But my dad is actually... I thought I turned that off, sorry. I promise I'll get to y'all. I promise I'll get to y'all. Okay. So I'm going to put this all the way in the up position, okay? Now, so look where I'm standing up. How many times you've been sewing all day and you want to get up and you want to stretch, right? Look, I'm 5'10". Look at the tilt towards me and look at the ability to be able to sew standing up. This is perfectly. Look at my posture. Look at my shoulders. Did everybody just see that? When I first went like this and then I went up this, watch my shoulders. They instantly relax. Watch. Everybody see the pressure come off my shoulders? When you're standing up or you're sitting upright, that's the position your body's meant to be in. So when I'm sewing, even so much so, you see how I'm standing off to the right? I'm lining my shoulder up. It gives me a much better visual and I can have proper... The more you tilt it, the better you can see. It's that simple. Nobody else in the world can tilt their sewing machine. It's flat. I don't care how high you bring it up, it's still flat. When your sewing machine's flat, I don't care, you're still hunched over. Because you can't operate the sewing machine if you can't see. You can't see unless you're perpendicular to that sewing machine. So it's this. Needles here. I'm over-exaggerating this. Needles here, neck's here. Okay, watch. When I tilt it, watch the needle. So when that needle is now, it's still straight, but it's in a much better position where you're able to see. Again, let's reiterate this. The tools work for me, and I don't need to work my way around the tools. So instead of bending my head and my neck in a bad, improper, mechanically bad position, I'm going to let the machine do that. I'm going to let the machine go in the bad position, allowing me to straighten my neck and head and shoulders. So this gives you a perfect flat surface, but it enables you to tilt it at whatever you need. So let's cover the buttons since this was asked, okay? The bottom button, you're going to raise and lower the machine. You can see you're not going to need to max out the height, but if you need it, that's 14 inches. The next one right there is for the tilt, okay? So watch, you see the tilt? I'm going to flatten it back out. I want you to see the contrast difference on being able to tilt that sewing machine, being able to see in relation to it being flat. Look. Look at the difference. We're the only ones in the world that can tilt, okay? So this is flat now. Can everybody see that? Watch. Can everybody see how flat that is? Watch my posture. I can't see doing this anymore. I have to do this. So, question to you. Who in the world that sells sewing and quilting furniture, who in the world can take that machine and tilt it towards you, giving you a better line of vision and making your body more ergonomically correct, keeping all of the aches and pains away from you? Who? Nobody. We're the only ones. We own the patent on this. And even if we didn't own the patent, which we do, even if we did it, do you know how difficult it was to develop this? Nobody has access to the engineering that we have free of charge. And I know people that have been in the family for years, that have known us for years, knows my dad. He's a mechanical genius. There's nothing that guy can't figure out. He said, if a man made it, a man can make it better. And that's what he's done with everything. But this is our stellar table. Okay, so very lightweight. Now, one thing I want to show you that's absolutely phenomenal. When we first came out with this, we had one, I forgot what it was called, and it was 39 by 69, and it had to come on a pallet truck, and it had to be shipped in, had to be freighted in, and we couldn't take it upstairs, couldn't take it downstairs. You better hope your sewing room is close to where we bring. No. This is 28 by 55. The reason why I'm mentioning that is everybody wants a huge sewing table. The bigger the sewing table, the better and more support your quilt will have when you're trying to quilt. Watch how ingenious this is. This is how I figured out to do the 3-table deal. Watch. Take my sewing machine out. Now, if I have an 8 by 10 spare bedroom, 8 foot by 10 foot, that's not big, right? I take everything out of my room. The cutting table does it all, even including sewing. But if I want a sewing table and I want a super large sewing table, check this out. It's going to take me a second to do this, but I'm going to put my tilt feature back up. I'm going to put my tilt back on there. Once I'm done with my tilt, watch how ingenious this is. Nobody can do this. Oh, while I'm doing this, just look. Can everybody see? Get a close-up of me. Do you see how light this table is? Look. Do you see how light this is? I can move it with 2 hands very, very easily with very little pressure. Okay. So now what we're going to do is check this out. This is what excites me more than anything. Now, again, if you're in the comment section and you have these tables, please let everybody know. So I'm going to take my cutting table, which is the same exact size, okay? I'm going to take my cutting table. I'm going to straighten this out, and I'm going to put this down like so. Oh, I got to plug it in, huh? Probably help. So we're going to take this now. Did I plug it in? I thought I unplugged it. Oh, I did unplug it. Okay, here we go. We're going to take this guy right here. We're going to take this guy, and we're going to plug this in right here. And I'm going to show everything. If you have these two tables together, I'm showing you what you're going to miss out on, okay? So I'm going to put this back flat. Watch how ingenious this is. Remember, we're talking about the weight of the quilt. When you're piecing a quilt, the bigger the quilt, queen, king, the larger it gets, the heavier it gets. What happens when that quilt falls off the edge of your table? What happens? It's constantly tugging on your needle. So what do people do? They bunch it up, they put it in their lap, and they're constantly fighting. Watch this. I'm going to take all my stuff off my table, just like so. All my cutting stuff. And guess what I'm going to use? So what I'm about to tell you is I put these tables in the middle of my room and I don't ever move them. I put them slap dab in the middle of my room. That gives me walking room all the way, even an 8 by 10. This is only 4 foot. If I have a 10-foot table, that leaves 3 feet on either side. I can walk around. It gives me use of my whole room. But watch this. So now what I'm going to do, because it's such lightweight, I'm going to put this in the middle of the room just like so. Okay, now you ready? Everybody ready for this? I'm going to go ahead and lower this one. Watch how cool this is, y'all. I'm going to put this side by side just like this. And I'm going to get my chair and I'm going to put this in front because I want everybody to be able to see this. And I'm actually, while I'm doing that, I'm probably going to bring this one up a little bit. Okay, you ready? Everybody ready for this? So now I'm going to put this behind just like so. Okay, and then I'm going to take this right here and I'm going to butt this table up just like this. Can everybody see what I'm doing now? I'm going to put down just a little bit more. Can everybody see this? Look. Now I have a sewing table. When I'm done sewing, now I have another table right behind that can support the entire weight of my quilt. So I just took 2 very light tables that can move very easily. I put them front to back, and I just made me a ginormous sewing table. So upstairs, downstairs, and a basement, both of these things come in 5 boxes. The heaviest box is like 70 pounds. So you get both legs in one box, you get a tabletop in another box, you get the runners in the other box, and then you get the power box and the remote. So UPS delivers this, brought to your house. You can bring these in a room and put them together. Now you have a sewing table, you have a cutting table, you have a piecing table, you have a pressing table. You've got everything that you need. Look how much room. Watch, I'll pace it off for you. Watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5 feet this way. So that's 55 inches. And then, let's see, 1, 2, 3. Well, it's 28 by 55. So this right here takes up, it's about half the size of a full-size bed. So what does that mean? Now you have the rest of the room for all of your other sewing stuff. Well, what do you mean? Okay, so now I got the sidekick. So let's talk about this. So now I have the sidekick, which is our newest table, right? So now if I want the sidekick, I can take my sidekick, I can put it right here. I can put my serger on there. I can put my ironing board on there. I can use this for anywhere else around my house. But now, what if I want a nesting cart, right? So now I can just roll this over here. Watch y'all. So this is my pressing right here. Watch how cool this is. So I'm going to get my chair. So I'm done cutting. I've already done all my cutting back there because everything stays in the middle of my room. I've got my chair. I'm sewing. I come over here, I square it up. I'm done sewing. And I come over here, I can press and I can serge. So here's my 3-table deal. Look. These are, everything I have is adjustable. The Stellar, which is the sewing table, and the Advantage Sensational, which is the cutting table, all have electric actuators. The Sidekick, it's manual adjustment. But I'm giving it to you at such a price that it's a no-brainer. Do you realize you're the only ones in the world, only ones through Martelli, that can get a 3-table deal? You can put furniture in your entire sewing room for less than you can buy a decent machine for? Less. That's what this does for you, being able to have this stuff. So again, if you're doing the cutting table, you're going to talk about different sizes, right? You're going to talk about the Elite, which is 35 by 72. The cutting table is the one in the back. Now remember, keep in mind, keep these in the middle of your room. Most everybody that you've ever met has all their furniture against the wall and they lose so much space. Can you imagine having a 5-foot sewing table in the middle of your room that will do the cutting and not just do it, but do it ergonomically. Sew ergonomically and cut ergonomically. Because watch, let's just say for the sake of arguments that I'm not done sewing yet, right? Okay, I haven't even started sewing yet. And I don't know if you can see this but the back, but let's say I want to go in the back and I want to cut. So I'm going to raise this up a little bit. So we're going to take this, move this out just a little bit. We're going to move the table up in the back. Now, this should be turned the other way. I'm doing that for the camera though, so everybody can see, right? So you're on that camera right there? What camera are we on? Yeah, on that one right there? Put it on the side one right here. So remember, this is in the middle of your room now. So So now I'm going to take it. Remember, this table's supposed to be turned the other way. So if I want to cut, I can go ahead and cut. I can cut ergonomically. When I'm done cutting, I'm going to go ahead and put it back. I'm going to lower it. I'm not going all the way up. I'm just trying to show you what the functionality is. So I'm going to put this all the way down, just like so. All I'm going to do is to cut. Once I'm done cutting, I'm just going to put this down, and I'm just going to match to this table right here. Look. It's literally that easy, folks. Now I have a ginormous, let me put this down a little bit. Now I have a ginormous cutting table. Look, I mean a ginormous sewing table. Can everybody see that? So 2 tables in the middle of your room does everything. It does it ergonomically, and it can do it at a price point that you can get it. You can furnish your entire room for cheaper than you can buy a sewing machine. And it's the best of the best, and you're getting something that nobody else in the world offers, okay? Now, I also have a quilter's cart that has actuators. So if you want to replace the sidekick with the smaller table, let's get that one in here. Can we get, let me roll that in here. I'm going to show you one more table. I'm going to show you one more table. All right. So if you want to replace, thank you. If you want to replace the sidekick that's a manual and you want one that's going to be a nesting cart, you can get the Quilter's Cart Pro. Basically, this has 14-inch actuators, so if I'm sewing or if I'm cutting and I'm going to use that tilt feature, both my sidekick and my Martelli Quilter's Cart will allow you to be able to put everything that you're using right next to you in a comfortable position, whether it's a serger or whether it's just a small pressing area. But these are your tables. So remember I told everybody, this is what I told everybody. I want you to get a pen and a piece of paper. I'm going to go over the deals. I'm not going to give you the price unless you call me. The reason why I'm not going to give you the price is because there is so many free products that you're going to get with each bundle. It's way too time consuming to go over right now. I would be here until 8 o'clock tonight trying to do each bundle and the products because you're getting over $1,500 with each bundle, okay? But I will tell you this. This is something I will tell you. If you're even remotely interested and you don't call me, you're missing out on a deal of a lifetime. Because if you go, and I'll just give you a small, I'm going to whet your appetite a little bit, okay? Excuse me. The Stellar table by itself, if you go look online without any product, is $6,000. With the products that I'm going to give to you and the shipping, it's going to be about $8,000. Let me give you a hint. For that $8,000 that you would pay, I might be able to give you the sewing table, the Sensational Advantage table, and the Sidekick table. Okay, let me. I'm just going to whet your appetite a little bit. Okay, how much is your brand new Janome M8? Awesome sewing machine. Look right here. How much is that? Okay, now I'm going to ask you again. Right, you go online and you look at just this price, just on this table right here. You're looking at my memory. Give me the exact price. I want to make sure I'm doing that.
What's it called?
The Stellar. The Stellar with the extra product, you're looking at about $8,000 to $9,000 with the extra product. Ballpark.
Originally 6,000.
Okay, so $6,000 with the product, I was right. It's about $8,000, okay? So $8,000 with the product. The Advantage by itself is $4,100, right? So that's $12,000. With the product, that's another $1,500. So that's $13,500. And the Sidekick, you're looking at $13,000. So you're looking at $14,500, okay? With the extra product, you're looking at almost $15,000. I can probably, I'm going to ballpark it, and I'm going to say these 3 tables, boom, boom, and boom, I'm going to do for a ballpark of $8,000. Go price a decent sewing machine. You're going to be able to furnish your entire sewing room with the elite, the best of the best products that has ever been developed for the sewing and quilting market. You're going to get the best of the best for about 50% off, and you're going to get products that nobody else knows. But Dave, why are you doing that? You know why I'm doing that? And if Roger Bennett's on here, he can tell you. If Melissa Squires is on here, she can tell you, and so can a bunch of other people. 90% of my sales come after this. What I mean by that is you have friends come over. A guy named Mike, I saw him. He's supposed to be on here too. Him and his wife bought the 3-table deal last time. He's selling his house. And Mike, if you're on here, verify this story for me. He's selling his house. He spent most of his time in his sewing and quilting room. The people that are buying his house also sew and quilt, and they were more fascinated. It was a beautiful home. They're more fascinated with the sewing furniture. I told Mike, I said, leave the sewing furniture there. Let me make you some more, which he did. So Mike, if you're on here, just let everybody know that I'm not full of beans here. But my point is, you're going to get a once-in-a-lifetime setup for cheaper than you can buy. You're going to furnish your entire sewing and quilting room for cheaper than you can buy a sewing machine. Now, you ready for this? You can finance it. It will be a little bit more. If you finance it, it will be a little bit more. Now, do you have to buy all 3 tables? No, you do not. If you want a single table deal, if you already have my cutting table, Dave, I have your Advantage and I want your Stellar. I want your sewing table. Call me. I will give you a good price on the Stellar. Dave, I want just your cutting table because I have a Bernina and I have a cabinet for my Bernina, but I want your cutting table. Call me and ask me about my Elite or my Advantage. I will give you a special price. If you want my Sidekick, call and ask me. I'll give you a special price. Okay, so this is how I'm doing it. Here's my 3-table deal. You ready? This table, write this down. Sensational Advantage, Stellar, and Sidekick. That's my 3-table deal. My 2-table deal, my Sensational Advantage and my Stellar. Okay? My 1-table deal, you can get this by itself, and I'll give you a special price. So just for the Stellar is the 1-table deal and the Sensational Advantage. So one more time, because I want you to write this down, because when you call me, I want you to be prepared so I can tell you what you're going to get for products with this, okay? 3-table deal. You know what? I'm going to whet your appetite. I'm going to give you a firm price on 1 3-table deal. Okay? This is to your door. This is to your door. Okay? Tax tag title to your door. 3-table deal. You're going to get the Sensational Advantage. That's the one that tips, goes up and down. What I showed you today. You're going to get your Stellar sewing table, and you're going to get your Sidekick. $79.99. Just so you know, shipping is $1,000. That's what shipping is. I just gave you a price to your door. $79.99. That's your 3-table deal. Boom, boom, boom. The other ones I'm not going to give you a price on. Call. Okay? I just want to whet your appetite just a little bit. With the taxes and the shipping and everything, man, you're looking at probably close to $18,000. I'm doing it for $8,000, $79.99. Shipping and everything. You're not going to beat that. So here's the deal. My number's 850-512-2222. I'm not going to tell you the products that you're getting. I'm giving you a price. You're getting a lot of products with this, which I'm not going to give you yet. I will return your call in the order on which I receive them. Okay? I will return your call. If you don't hear from me today, that doesn't mean, oh, well, I don't care. No, it means I'm busy, and I promise you I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Okay? So, again, write this down. 3-table deal. Sensational Advantage, Stellar, and Sidekick. Okay? 2-table deal. Sensational Advantage and Stellar. And then, of course, one table deal, you can get the Sensational by itself, and you get the Stellar. Now, on the cutting table, you have 3 different sizes. You have the Elite, which is 35 by 72. It's got the big mat in it. And you have the 28 by 55. And then the Stellar's the 28 by 55 also. And then the Sidekick and the Martelli Quilter's Cart. I can do these independently as well. So, yeah, 850-512-2222. Again, 850-512-2222. I know there's some questions. So we're going to take just about 5 minutes and we're going to answer some questions, folks. Answer some questions. Give me your best shot, your best questions. I don't care if it has to do with ergonomics. I don't care if it has to do with how the table's built. I don't care if it has to do with assembly. I don't care what your question is. Go ahead and ask me. Let's get some of these, because when you ask those questions, I'm probably answering it for more than just one person. Do we have questions out there?
Well, we have a ton of testimonials.
Yeah, I figured as much.
Melissa Squires.
Yep, I was talking about her earlier.
Roger Bennett.
Yep, I was talking about Roger earlier. Yep, who else?
Let's see.
Did Mike show up? Mike also?
I don't see Mike. Ashley, Charmed by Ashley showed up.
Oh, hey Ash, what's up?
Wendy Drew.
Hey, Miss Wendy Drew.
And Claudia Visnick.
Yep. Very nice. Well, it's good to see everybody. Now, here's the thing that I want to mention to everybody. Really, really quickly. If you're watching this and we're not live anymore and you want the deal, we're going to go through Monday. We're going to go through Monday. Let's just say I missed one of you by accident, which has happened before, unfortunately. Hopefully I don't miss. And you said, hey, Dave, I called you and you never called me back. What were you thinking? Blah, blah. I'm still going to honor the sale price, okay? I'm not going to leave anybody in the dark. The sale's going to go through Monday. Monday morning. So you're going to have a weekend, get with your significant other, talk to them, say, hey, I really want this set up. I think it's going to be life-changing for me. And if you buy my furniture, it's not like particle board. This stuff is HDPE. You're not going to move it one time and go, I guess I need a new sewing machine and a new cabinet because it fell apart. Listen, I know this is bad grammar, but that ain't happening with my stuff. It's 3/4 inch virgin grade HDPE. The Stellar will accommodate any sewing machine in the world. This is the last thing I want to add. If you buy my Stellar table, the only thing that we do not provide is the plexiglass cutout. You have to get that from Sew Steady. The reason why I make you go to Sew Steady to buy this is because everybody puts their sewing machine in a different location. Some people have longer arms, some people have shorter arms. So once you get your table, what you do is you put your sewing machine in the table where you want it, and then they will make you pull measurements. Dave, what do you mean by they'll make you pull measurements? Okay, once you have this in here, they're going to make you take it. You're going to put the machine in there where you want it, and then you're going to pull a measurement from here to the edge to the edge of your sewing machine. That way, because they have all the schematics to every machine that has ever been built. I don't. So you're going to put your sewing machine in there, and then they're going to tell you exactly what to do to take measurements. It takes them typically 3 days to 4 days. They're very quick, and they're going to send you a machine cutout for your specific machine. So you see this right here? Let me do this. I got it in my hand right here really quickly. So, okay, let me do this real quickly. So you're going to see, you notice the platform right here. Watch. See how my machine raises? If I have an embroidery unit, this is cool, y'all. I didn't even tell you this. If you have an embroidery unit, all you do is you take your machine and you lift it all the way up to the very top. And then you put your embroidery unit on. So that's why we designed it this way. Can you imagine being able to put your embroidery unit on and tilt it so you can see your embroidery? When you're looking at embroidery, you have to bend your neck, and it puts so many stitches in, so you're constantly bending over to look at it. But that's very, very easily. Now, if you want to go back to sewing, you're simply going to lower it. You're going to lower it back to where it's even, and you're going to stick your plexiglass cutout back in there, and then you're good to go. Okay, ready? There you go. And you're good to go. So if you want to do embroidery, you just lift it all the way to the top. You put your embroidery unit on there. And if you want to sew flat, you just put it all the way back down. It's literally that simple. Okay, questions. Let's shoot with them.
Is there any
Yes. So as I showed you on my cutting table, you have a bin. Remember how you're using this. This is going to be used in the middle of your room. So let me move this out of the way. So if you, can you lower the camera, or is that too hard? Can you take this camera and lower it? So we're going to take you, and I'm going to show you under here. So if you look at the storage underneath your table, you're going to see a 2-track system. You can have a bin, and you can also, that puts all your sewing stuff in, sewing supply. And here's the other thing. Well, let's start up here first. So I'm going to put this right here. Can everybody see this? I'm going to look at this one first whenever you're ready. You tell me when you're ready. Okay, I have several of different different storages, and I can put them up here. So if I want to put my scissors, remember it has the no slip up here. So my scissors, my phone, my charger, my different presser feet, anything I want. So I have storage on top, but I also have storage underneath. This is how, because remember, this is going to go in the middle of your room. I want you to look underneath this table. I want to show you something. We're going to use this camera, right? I don't know if you can see all the way under there, though, because it's going to have to go to the back table.
Oh, no, I can't.
Yeah, so let's just take this and just, you can tilt it. Yeah, okay, perfect, perfect. Thank you. Good job, ladies. Okay, we're getting to the storage in a minute. Great job, great job. Okay, if you look at the back underneath the cutting table, because remember, this is going to go in the middle of your room. Can we move?
It can't come out very far, but I can do it.
Is it going to cut off?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right, so let me move this. Just let me move it out of the way. Dave's going to stop being lazy right now, and Dave's going to move this right here. So if you look under there, you can use the main camera. If you look under there, there's bins and things that go underneath the cutting table that you can use for your sewing area. Because remember, this is going to go in the middle of your room. The reason why it's going to go in the middle of your room so you can have a ginormous sewing table. So when you're doing those larger quilts, move it more. Sorry. When you're having those ginormous quilts, it has a lot more. It's a 5x5 sewing table is what it is. So, but yes, you have storage, and the storage is going to be on those dual pipes underneath your cutting table. Whether it's the Elite or whether it's the Advantage makes no difference. The only difference is the Elite will have a little bit more room over there. The Elite will be a little bit more money, but yes, the short answer is yes, you do have storage. Now here's the other thing. Once you buy your entire 3-table deal, don't think for a second that I'm like, okay, I've got your money, I'm done with you. You can ask Melissa on this one. I've had many conversations with her after the fact, after she's already purchased her table, discussing things that we do. So I'm not going to leave you high and dry. So if you do have questions after you purchase it and after you put these tables together, just reach out to me and ask me. Say, hey, Dave, what do you think about this? Or Dave, what should I do here? Or Dave, let me teach you something. That would be the first, but that would be awesome. I would love to learn if I could from all of you. I'd appreciate that very much. But anyways, next question.
Well, someone asked, is there separate storage you can purchase for the original Elite workstation?
The original Elite. So on the storage that we have for the original Elite is the shelf. It's the base storage rack. That needs to be a phone call made to me. But the short answer is yes. On the original Elite, if you have that, we have the base storage rack. I think it's like $400 and something, but it's a big shelf that goes underneath that has grooves to hold all of your templates. It holds bolts of fabric. It holds all kinds of stuff. So the short answer is yes. You have my number. Call me, and I'll give you the price and tell you how we can get it to you. Okay, next question.
Okay, how do you lock the wheels, and what are the functions of the buttons on the remote?
Okay, locking the wheels. You're simply just going to put on. Once it's on, it locks. It will not move once you have that on. To unlock it, you just push off. See, it says off right there? That's off. That click is on. That's literally how easy it is to lock and unlock. Okay, let's go over the functions of the table. Let's go over this one first. Okay, function number 1. Now, a lot of you are going to say, hey, can it accommodate a knee lift? Yes, it can. Yes, it can. I have not found one that it cannot accommodate as of yes. This one has a knee lift. I just took it out of there a little while ago. Okay, let's talk about the Stellar table. You're going to see 6 buttons, okay? First row of buttons, watch. First row of buttons raises and lowers the machine. Can everybody see that? Lower the machine. Raise the machine. Nice and flat, okay? Second row. Second row is going to be the tilt. That's making it flat. That's putting your tilt, which takes all the stress off your neck, back, and shoulders, okay? So first row, raises and lowers the platform the machine sits on. Second row raises and lowers the front tilt for the table. Nobody else has that feature. And then the third one is the height adjustment for the table itself. Everybody see that? It raises the table, and it lowers the tables. So if you want to sit, sewing, or standing. Okay. The table behind it, sewing table. Let me know when you can see the sewing table. I'm going to be out of frame here, but I'm going to show you what it does. Can you see those buttons right there?
Yes.
Okay. But the first row on the cutting table will raise and lower the left side. Okay, everybody see that? The second row will raise and lower the right side. Everybody see that? So it has independent suspension. It will raise and lower independently on the left. It will raise and lower independently on the right. And then the third row is to raise and lower the entire table. So if I want the table all the way up, it does that. If I want the table all the way down. Let's say I want it at an angle. Let's say I want to raise that side right there and lower that one side. This is really cool. Is it showing the remote right now?
Yes.
Okay. So let's say I want that tilt because I'm squaring up my quilt, right? So I want a tilt on that side. Once I have the perfect tilt for me, then I can come over here and I can raise and lower both sides at the same time. That's why we have single arrows. The single arrow will singly raise and lower one side. Single arrow will singularly and raise and lower the other side, and then the double arrow is for both sides at the same time. So a single arrow, so I'm going to put it back flat. And then last one, and my favorite, this is going to give you the tilt, which takes all the pressure off your neck, back, and shoulders when you're cutting. You don't need to exert that same amount of energy when you cut. You see the tilt? Now here's the thing too. When you get this home and you put it together and you get the instructions, play around with it. Sit in your room for 30 minutes. Push the buttons. Be like a little kid in a candy shop. You got a new toy, play with it. Learn it. Learn it inside and out, because everything's going to be different for every body. Your body is as custom and as unique as your personality, right? And so you get those remotes home and you play with them. Okay, next questions.
Does the cutting mat come with the cutting table?
So when you call me, I'm going to discuss all. This is what I told you. If I was here telling you all the stuff that you're going to get, I'll be here at 8. You literally get $1,500 worth of Okay, I'll just give you an example. I'm going to wet your whistle here a little bit. Just on the cutting table alone, you're going to get 48 templates. What do you mean 48 templates? 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, 5.5, 6.5, 7.5, 8.5, 9.5 squares. You're going to get 2.5 through 9.5 triangles. You're going to get 2.5 through 9.5 circles. You're going to get the fussy cut windows, which I didn't even show you because there's not enough time in the day, how you can get perfect fussy cut. They're windows that you drop your templates inside of. You get 2 rulers. You get your 1/2-inch strip ruler, and you get the white ruler that I showed you. So you get 2 rulers. You get 48 templates. You get a cutting mat. You get a 5-pack of blades. You get the 2 rulers, the cutting mat, a rotary cutter, a 5-pack of blades. You get 48 templates. You get the uni rack, which holds all of your templates. The only thing that you don't get on that table that I showed you is the storage that's underneath, and that's very, very inexpensive. So you get $1,500 worth of extras for free. So, but I'm not going to go over all that stuff because I'm telling you I will be here till 8 o'clock tonight, and so will you. When you call me to tell me what bundle you want, I'm going to share with you all of the products. For example, I'll give you another example. When you get the sewing table, you get a storage for free. You get the ruler for free. You get the cutting mat for free. You get your sewing, the 10-piece sewing kit that I showed you earlier, the high-speed steel. You get that for free. It gives you every tool under the sun that you need for a sewing machine. You get that for free. That's $180. So when I'm telling you, when you get this 3-table deal, you get when I tell you, you get a ton of stuff. The foot pedal riser, you get that free too. Just almost like half of what you saw today, other than the templates, you're getting free. So it's too much to go over, but if you get the 3-table deal, I'm telling you, and from what Olivia told me, there's a lot of people that put stuff in the comment section that says it's a killer deal, right? Did they say that? Testimonials? Read the testimonials. I'm a sales guy. I'm trying to talk you out of your shoes, right? That's what I do. That's what sales guys do. Sales guy, what I say is irrelevant. Now, the features and the benefits, what I tell you is not irrelevant. Me trying to get your money, yeah. Go listen to the people that's already purchased this. Go listen to them. They're going to tell you what they say has a lot more validity than what I'm telling you, right? Dave is a sales guy. I tell her I'm not ashamed of that. I'm a sales guy, right? I'm trying to sell you something. These people that are on here that have purchased this are not. They have nothing to gain by telling you how great it is. And if somebody tells you it stinks, listen to them too. I hope nobody put that, but are we good? No, I've not ever had somebody, in as long as I've been doing this, ever say that's not true. I've had somebody say they didn't like my cutter before, but 9 times out of 10, it's just because they weren't using it properly. So sometimes we have to, get another question?
When the embroidery machine is on the table and the table tilts, is that machine secure?
100%. Now, I've had people, and that's a great question. Who asked that? Okay, Mr. Mason, great question. So I had somebody come up to me and tell you one time, because I used to have the ergonomic machine tilt. I told you about the machine tilt. And a lady comes up to me and she goes, this instruction said that the sewing machine has to be square. I'm like, yeah, it is square. Just because it's tilted, all 4 feet are still firmly planted squarely on that table. We're just taking the whole tabletop and we're tilting it. This is 100%. I will put a $15,000, the most expensive sewing machine on this thing, and I will put it on a tilt just like this. Let me find which one the tilt is. Oh, wrong one. Everyone but them. I will take the most expensive sewing machine, put my sewing machine pad, because it's on a sewing machine, and I will put it on the biggest tilt we have and never worry, especially with embroidery. Look how good you can see that with embroidery. If this was all the way up the top and you put your embroidery unit on there, look how good you can see that. Look from the camera, look. Yes, 100% it's secure, and it's better than anything that you could ever have. It's way better than doing embroidery flat. Way better. Way better. And I have another product I haven't even showed you. It's called the automatic thread caddy. I'm not going to get into it. If you ever do an embroidery, you need to call me. I can sell you a $150 product which will allow you to use metallic thread at 2,000 stitches a minute, and your thread will never break. Let me repeat that for anybody that didn't hear me. I have a product, and I'm not going to get into it right here. It's called the Thread Caddy that will allow you to take metallic, yes, I said metallic thread, do embroidery full speed, have perfect stitching, and your metallic thread will never break. It's a product that will allow you to do that with embroidery. Different story, different day. Can't get into it, or we'll be here till 8 o'clock tonight. But just want to tell you, great question, Mr. Mason. Yes, you can do anything at the full tilt with any sewing machine out there with no problem. Next question.
Are sewing machines on sale?
You're going to have to get with Albert for that. We are a Janome dealer, and yes, we do have sewing machine table combos. But you're going to have to get with Albert for that. Hey, Albert! Probably in his room. Can you see if he's in his room real quick? Tell him to come here. He doesn't like cameras. He doesn't like cameras, so I'm going to have to talk to him when he's off cameras. He's a little shy thing.
We got testimonials from Donna Bennett and Terry.
Donna Bennett, how are you doing, young lady? And who's the other one?
Terry Curtin.
Terry. I know the name. Please forgive me. I had a stroke a couple years back, so I I could carry on 4 conversations at once. And hey, we have some deals on some table slash machines, right? They just need to call you. Give me your number. 910 987 9242. One more time. 910 987 9242. That is if you want a machine slash table combo.
And if they don't get me, leave a text message, voicemails.
If you don't get him, he's doing the same thing to you he does to me. He's just ignoring you. Oh, that's not what he said. Never mind. What'd you say, Al? No, he said leave a text message if you don't get a hold of him. He will get back to you in the order. He's just like me. He's very, very busy, but I promise you I've known this man for a long time, and he will get back to you as quickly as he possibly can. So if you leave a voicemail and you don't hear it, make sure you follow it up with the text, right?
Yep.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Yep. Okay, any other questions?
Let me check. Nothing.
Nothing? You're making this too easy for me, everybody. Okay, how many people we have on?
66.
All right, cool. Great to see everybody. Thanks for everybody staying tuned. Sometimes when we go into these tables, we get a drop-off sometimes just because a lot of people already have it. One more time, I'm going to give you my number, 850-512-2222. When you text me, please let me know. Say, Dave, I want the 3-table deal. What is it? And I'll get back with you. Or say, Dave, I want the 2-table deal, and I'll get back with you. Or Dave, I just want the price on the Stellar. Or Dave, I want the price on the Advantage. Or Dave, I want the price on the Elite. Dave, I want the price on the Sidekick. So you can buy each table individually. But the 3-table deal is probably our most prominent. I'm like every other company in the world. The more you purchase from me, the less expensive it becomes. And I already shared this with you. If you bought just the Stellar and all the products that I'm giving to you for free with the shipping, with the taxes, it's going to be around 10 grand. That's what it's going to be. With the product, with the table, with the shipping, with the taxes, it's going to be like $9,700, $9,800. Hint, I'm giving you a 3-table deal, still including all the product, and it's going to be around $89.99. That's what it's going to be. So basically you buy 1 table with all the products and everything else you get free. Unheard of. It's like a 55, 60% discount. But that's the only, I'm just whetting your appetite. In order to know what products you're getting, you need to call me and you need to let me know what you want with these deals. We have the 3-table deal and we have the 2-table deal, and then we can buy each table individually. The more you buy, the better it becomes. The only thing I ask you is when you get your 3-table deal home, make sure you set it up the way that I tell you to set it up, because you're going to get the most amount of... Can you imagine doing a California king-size quilt and never have to worry about your king-size quilt falling off the edge of the table, pulling on the needle? Do you know how many machines get ruined a year from fabric pulling on the side of it because you're sewing on a little area and it can't support crap? Excuse my language, but you can't. You need a big 5-foot area to support those large quilts, and that's what this does for you. Putting them in the middle of your room, and you can bring it upstairs, you can bring it downstairs, you can bring it basements, you can bring it on the first floor. It doesn't matter because they come in 5 boxes. Very, very easy to ship and very, very inexpensive. Well, no, very expensive to ship, but very inexpensive to be able to bring up to any location that you are. It used to not be able to be done this way, but since we come up with 2 tables the same size, you can put it in the middle of your room. Now we can ship them in boxes, which makes it a whole heck of a lot easier. Any other questions before I sign off? Okay, y'all, thank you so much for your time. I know your time is very, very valuable, and we here at Martelli's appreciate y'all so much. And without you, there is no us. So I'm very grateful for that. You have my number. If you just need to reach out to me and you have questions. If you're not sure that you want to pull the trigger, but you have questions on these tables, reach out to me. If you know that you want to pull the trigger, hey, Dave, I want the 3-table deal. I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. I promise you. Last thing I'm going to do is 850-512-2222. That is my cell phone number. Make sure you call me before Monday. These sales on these websites are going to go on until Monday. If I have not gotten back to you by the time Monday gets here, I will. If you're watching this after the fact, just text me. I will get back to you. You have my word on that. I think that's it. Is there anything that I'm missing? Well, ladies behind the camera, great job today. Appreciate y'all's time and sticking with me through the whole thing. I know your time's valuable. If you have any questions, reach out. Thank you. God bless. And everybody have a fantastic Independence July 4th weekend. Be safe. Don't shoot your kids with bottle rockets like I'm going to do, because it's probably not safe. But have a good weekend. Love you guys. Thank you so much.